Welcome everybody to the stream today. We're having some fun in the chat room. Sorry for the delay. I was just kicking it around and joking in the chat room like a drunk school child here. But the truth is I'm only on my first beer, so I'm just in a good mood. We're having some fun. Today is our subscriber stream. So looking at my shelf here, I have a mug that says Atlantic City Astrobate, but I prefer Vegas. Anyway, guys, good to see you. Thanks everybody for being here on time. And we've got, you think Amy is a postal worker? I don't think so. I didn't get anything for Amy today. Yesterday they were all over her, but she's the former owner of my new phone, in case you guys are wondering. So, all right, we're going to be doing a subscriber stream. So, 501. Amy says hello. Amy's good. 501 bits for Amy. Yeah, this is Amy's old phone here. Well, I mean, it's not really her phone, but this was her number. We got 500 bits cheer from Merle Dixon for Amy. That is insane. Clash Kid adds 2. Oh no, we've got a bit war to start things off. I love it. I love it, guys. Today we're going to go over games. We're doing Astrobate's game from, well, we've got actually a whole bunch of games in the lineup here. So this stream is for you guys who are subscribers primarily. Other players are welcome to watch. Alex CL, for example, just showed up. You know, if you're not a subscriber, you guys are welcome to hang out with us. But I'm doing the subscriber games. Those guys who submit streams. Clash Kid, did I get your game? Let me check. I got a message here from Aluminum. I would like to submit a game, but I'm a new subscriber and chess player, and I don't know how. Aluminum, if you're watching this, let me know, you know, who you are on the Twitch chat. You're a new subscriber to my stream on Twitch. Is that what you mean? If you are a Twitch subscriber, Aluminum, you're welcome to just, you know, pick a game, add it to lichess, or, you know, submit it on lichess so we can go over it. The various ways you could probably do that. If you are a subscriber, send me the link, absolutely. Now, Clash Kid, I'm missing something. Why did I not get your submission, Clash Kid? Am I supposed to have gotten it? You sent it like last week or something? No, I don't think we got any Clash Kid 2 hours ago. That's not right. 8 minutes ago. Okay, so those are all like old times. Alright, I'm confused. I didn't get anything from Clash Kid. Seems like I still can't send messages on lichess. Trolling a cheater one time, you're not allowed to speak on lichess for the rest of your life. Yeah, but that's weird. They would like suspend your ability to send a message to someone. That's kind of extreme. So send it to someone else in the stream, and they could send it to me. Pick somebody, you know, go on punishment in the corner of the room, and send it to somebody else. So, guys, we are gonna start with Astrobate's game. I think he was, thought he was the first one, but anyway, I've got him first on the list here. A week ago. That's not it. All right. Where do we get Astrobate? Here it is. Astrobate, where are you? Invited me to game study 18 hours ago. Is this right? Yeah. So we were here. Bob's the most reliable. Bob is known for his reliability. Luminum, if you are a subscriber, feel free to submit a game. We're getting started here. A few minutes late. I'm not going to do a game on my own this week because we got probably quite a few games. If we get bored, I can submit a game, you know, for the approval of all of our viewers. But Clash Kid, thank you for the donation. 2 bits today. Merle Dixon, cranking up to 501 for Amy. That is awesome. Thanks again for Dim for 240 bits to support the stream. We don't have a lot of viewers typically on the subscriber stream. People see subscriber and they freak out and they don't watch the stream. If you want to absolutely kill your numbers and you're a streamer, put the word subscriber in the stream and you'll just basically have 20 viewers. But I don't care because this stream is really specifically geared to the subscribers. So Astrobait, JCS, Clash Kid, Bob, thanks to Spectacular Camel, all of you guys. Pretty much everyone's here. I got submission for JCS for Infinite Flash Chess, I think. Let's see, I've only got Astrobait, Yabatis, Percy, Merle, JCS, Nefedov, Clash Kid. I'll put Clash Kid on the list. And that's only 7 thus far. Sladgie fan, that's Bob. AKA Sladgie fan. AKA Amy. I did get your game, yeah. Percy, thank you. So let's get started with this game that Astrobait played. Okay. So Astrobait is playing against C4 here. And he had another game we saw where he played with black against C4. Oh, you don't understand the title. The title is to get people to not watch unless they're subscribers. No. It's just... okay, Blue-Eyed Albino. I have trouble saying your name really quickly. We just go over games that people submit. The subscribers submit games they've played, and we analyze them seriously. No play really today. We're actually examining games. It's like post-mortem analysis of chess games that have been played. This is the way to learn. Your title failed at not drawing me in. I was gonna write you know what I was gonna put in the stream title today? Don't watch the stream. I mean, seriously, if you put the reverse psychology sort of title like that, I'd probably get 100 viewers. I've got to really play around with it a little bit more. Don't watch the stream. It's not for you. You know, if I put that, I'll get way more viewers. Anyway, so C4, Knight F6. You analyze their games. Well, no, I analyze the subscribers' games, but you can submit a top GM game if you'd prefer. That's fine. Occasionally we do games. Yeah, Anonymous, it's like Suomi. It reminds me of what is that word for Finnish, the Finnish language? How do you say that? Never have any Finns in the stream for some reason. They don't like me. I don't know what it is. Heikki. So E3. Yeah. I think Astrobait at this point can choose to pretend he's white. And I recommend this to a lot of people. If people play passively against you, there's really nothing wrong with if you're facing B3, E3, G3, D3, what have you. Oh, somebody is Finnish. Wow, I was just thinking we never have any Finnish viewers. That's weird. Lalu, awesome. So we have a Finnish viewer after all. I think you're like the first one ever. We've had basically regular viewers from every other Scandinavian country and some of the Baltics, but we've never had a Finnish viewer before. Why did I even think about this? I don't remember. I'm getting early onset dementia. But anyway, E3, I like C5 based on Astrobait's opening repertoire. He plays the Benoni. You know, if you play C5, white plays D4, there's still a chance you could steer the game into a type of Benoni. But, oh, that's because of Suomi. Okay. How do you say that? How do you say that word, Suomi, correctly, you know, when you're, a Finn? Because it just looks like Suomi, but, I mean, I don't know if that's how you really pronounce it or not. Anyway, thank you, Laluo. He says, congrats on the first Finnish Formula 1 wins since 113 races. Wow. Big Formula 1 fan in Clash Kid. So E5, Astrobait basically playing like he's black. Playing like he's white. Oh, he plays C5. I thought he was going to play E5. Okay. C5's good. I think you can also play this Astrobait, just pretend you're white at this point with E5, if you don't know the theory. It's already Thursday, Nils. I thought the Finnish were good in Formula 1 too, but that's what I know. What I know is probably 20 years old. Hey, there was a good Finnish Formula 1 driver 20 years ago. 20 years isn't a long time for me. I'm that old. But anyway, wasn't there some guy like Raikkonen or something? I probably even recognize a name. I know very little about Formula 1. Exactly! I'm a genius! Oh my god. I even knew his name. Yes! Oh my god, I'm a genius. I knew something. I knew a Finnish Formula 1 driver. That's scary. Okay, E3, C5. So D4, C takes D. So Astrobait goes into a position I like here, but he plays a crazy move now. Very interesting. A lot of games. Nils, we have room for one more. But you will be last in the list now if I add you. The overlay is looking crisp, says Camel Culture. It's been a long time, Camel Culture. Soltigo designed this overlay. I'm not like a huge lover of the puke green, but, you know, it does grab your attention. Exactly. It's looking crisp. So b5 here, wow, it's like a total Andras Shadorian move. I've tried to tell Acerbate not to do this. I mean, I just doubt that this is sound. But, you know, if you take the eccentric Hungarian Grandmaster Adorian and, you know, knocked on his door right now and showed him this move, he'd probably be, oh, interesting, yes. Probably. Yes, this is... Black is okay. But, I was just wondering, like, Queen F3. That's probably not a great move, though. A little too primitive. Possible, though. I mean, this move, you know, you should always think big. Maybe we can win a whole rook. This is an interesting move, actually. Queen F3. Acerbate, what do you think? So there's actually a better Finnish Formula 1 driver. They have more than one, and they're not even winning 113 races. That's weird. So anyway, what are they doing all the time? So I'm just kidding, though. I don't know anything about Formula 1. Camel Culture, why aren't you subscribed? He never watches, probably. That's why he's not subscribed. It would be inefficient to have a subscription and never watch. B5, creative, Acerbate, but don't play this anymore. As I told you, you don't really want to play this type of Benko Gambit unless really, like, you've played C5 and white is pushed to D5, then you can play the B5 type of Gambit. There are some positions where you can play it. Like, take the Nimzo, for example. D4, Knight F6. Just quickly, guys, I want to spend forever on this. But to show you, Acerbate, an example of when you can do a crazy Gambit like this, okay? I'm not going to go to Finland, but I'm going to go to the Baltics on this one, which is close, right? Bishop B4, Queen C2. Vito Lynch has actually played the move B5, I think, in this position. This is totally, there it is, like 1988. 1988, to play B5, I like to play this in Blitz, but I don't think it's sound, Acerbate. But another sound variation is... B5, sorry, Bishop B4, that's Bishop B4, Queen C2, castles, right? And then A3, right, castles A3. Let me turn off the engine because it's probably freezing my stream. Bishop takes C3, Queen takes C3. And now seriously, Infinite Flash Chess, never subbed, never donated, ad block on, stolen laptop, neighbor's Wi-Fi, free entertainment. That's awesome. And you've got a, like, you know, and you've got, yeah, never mind. So B5, that's B5. Some inspiration for you, Acerbate, but it's a little too creative, guys. Sorry, I'm focusing on the on the subscription analysis here. So D4, CD4, here we go. Acerbate plays the crazy B5, inspiring but not sound. It's okay, Infinite Flash Chess. But we do have a game, you know, you did get your, Finland is in the Baltic. I always think that the Baltic and, like, Scandinavia or whatever are different regions or something, I don't know. So anyway, I live near Rhode Island, you know. Let's see, C5, probably half of you in Europe don't even know where that is. C5 here, interesting move. But obviously white should probably take this pawn on B5. Take back, what's up? So chess, the challenge will be no challenges today. Let's just go on. I mean, I don't think you should do this, Acerbate. What you should do is play D5. It's a good position. It's just a standard opening, but I like it. You know, I just like it. It's a very important position, IQP. Panov Botvinnik attack of the Caro-Kann, but a very important strategic position. The Amy is the owner of my phone number. The previous owner of my new phone number, and then Amy became a stream meme. I even get donations for Amy. Rhode Island, like Providence, is the closest city to where I am right now. I'm closer to Providence, Rhode Island, than I am to Boston. Nils actually gifted a tier 1 sub to Infinite Flash Chess, and they've given 3 subs in the channel. All right, so we got the b5. Let's just go on, guys. All right, b5, c5. c5 is a weird move, but you're gonna have to destroy that. I think you're gonna need to destroy that. Yeah. Now he played a6. I don't have a better suggestion, though. You could try something totally mental. No, you can't. I want to play like e5 so badly, but it's just not going to happen. This is slow but necessary, it looks like. Niels, thank you for donating a subscription to the stream. Bishop b7 is probably okay here. This move I don't like. It's inconsistent. Many crats on the way to your streams. Thank you. I try to be dedicated. We try to make it interesting and fulfilling. You're in the checkout process. You're just about to gift a sub to Infinite Flash Chess. And in fact, Infinite Flash Chess is very popular because someone else, like JCS, actually donated his game. He donated his game analysis today to Infinite Flash Chess. So Infinite Flash Chess is loved. He said, Percy Hepworth said, I'm annoyed because I can't remember which port we stopped at. Newport. It's the only significant port really in Rhode Island. Newport, Rhode Island is a very famous place. They have an awesome jazz festival there in the summer. It's a very historic sort of place. Rich mansions. They have famous mansions for like stars and stuff. d5. Not a good idea here, Acerbate. What you want to do is keep this bishop open. It's on an excellent diagonal. So I think you gotta probably blow this up at some point. The c5 pawn. I don't know how long you can live with that on the c5 pawn is really annoying. Seems like you're gonna have to blow that up with d6 at some point. Detonate. Not a good reference with all the bombs floating around, but detonate is the best word to describe this. So we try to keep up with current events and make bad jokes about it. But d5, not a good idea. Because you give him a protected pass pawn here, Acerbate. This is a huge positional mistake. I can't emphasize this enough. Probably you should play e6, develop your king side a little bit, and then prepare to pop his pawn structure with d6. You've got to break it up. So Juicebox discovered, things that make us pretty confident that Tushar was getting assistance. I do want to mention it, so I don't want to brush it under the rug. One of our former subscribers, Tushar, he seems to have been very suspicious, likely was getting assistance over a long period of time, and dishonest about his real strength. So Juicebox uncovered a lot of evidence and was very forward about it with me. But I don't want to, publicly shame anyone, and just that's the way it is. So that's what we suspect. Yeah. I mean, he's probably not as strong as his results would have indicated. But I don't want to focus on it here, guys. We got the stream and the games, and we're already behind the times here. We've got 2 hours to analyze a whole bunch of games. I don't want to publicly shame anyone, but I'm going to publicly shame them. No, I'm not shaming. Shaming is just, I'm naming, not shaming. Shaming is like when you make them sit in the corner and you keep beating them with a leather whip or something. This is just mentioning it once, getting it out in the open, and then we'll go from there. So yes, I think he was probably cheating, but he hasn't been convicted by the FBI yet, so we'll leave it to the federal authorities to pursue criminal action. So anyway, back to the game here. We've got d5, bad idea, b4. That's probably not a bad idea. To secure that monster on c5. A good positional lesson for black. This is a winner. This is just a winner. If that pawn, how are you going to deal with that? I mean, it's going to be a protected pass pawn in the endgame, basically just like winning the game. So knight c6, queen b3, e6, bishop e2, a5. Yeah, but I mean, this is gone. It just seems to be gone. a5, I understand. He doesn't have a3, but you're going to lose this, I believe. Yeah, apparently they have enough reasons to suspect, for many reasons. Um, Not just like one incident, but a lot of things. So a5, b takes a5, queen takes a5. Now white just plays bishop d2. And I don't think this pawn is going anywhere. Well, he can play b4 actually. Then knight b5. So perhaps here white should avail himself of the possibility of snapping this pawn while it's still ripe. You know, if we put a time limit. Well, I mean, we should probably take the pawn. Bishop takes b5. Let's see what the engine says. Yes. Take the pawn while the taking's good. Well, he was a little cautious there. It's banter between me and Camel, says Infinite Flash Chess. Anyway, bishop d2, a little hesitant, giving him the chance to play this b4, and that gives black hope, that he might not actually lose the pawn. Knight b5, the ponda. Where's our pondas today? Micro ponda. Micro ponda. Hello, I'm upside down. Hello. So, grab a beer, guys. Join us. I'm just enjoying one here with my coffee. Yeah. We've got the Finnish Formula 1 discussion going on. Lots of different stuff. Take back apparently too sharp. I saw my stream. Yeah, it was we uncovered some dirt. So anyway, let's not focus on that. Bishop e7, castles, knight e4 for masturbate. I mean, the important thing is that we hold on to this pawn, and now white remains with the powerful protected pass pawn, but I think that things are a little more unclear than they used to be. Now the knight on b5 is suddenly subjugated to an exposed situation on b5 where it might actually get picked off. It appears that white has a4 at some point here, securing the knight on b5. You still wonder why a friend of mine is banned on this channel. Nils, a friend of yours is banned on this channel. I don't know, like they probably did something to be banned, but this is the first you mentioned of it. Knight e4, bishop e1. If they're a friend of yours, they couldn't possibly be banned on the channel. I go through the list and I check to see if they're friends of Nils. And then I say, no, they're absolutely not. They can't be banned. They're just... if you wondered about something like that, G-Moose. Yeah, G-Moose was... He was really... This was a long time ago, but he was like very, very rude, like... and kind of troll-like in his behavior. This was quite a while back. So I just recall... Was it G-Moose? No, I'm mixing up G-Moose with someone else. I'm sorry, I can't remember. G-Moose is banned on the channel. I don't remember. I'd have to do a research paper on it. I'm thinking of someone else. It wasn't about necessarily trolling. Maybe that there's something that was going on, a dynamic. Bishop e1 castles, knight e5, knight takes e5. That's ancient history though, Nils. If somebody wants to be unbanned, I definitely keep an open mind. If it's something that happened like a long time ago, and they want to be unbanned, I'm willing to consider it. I'm not like someone who holds a grudge for a long time, but I definitely don't like to randomly ban people for no reason. So if they want to be unbanned, tell them to contact me, and I would probably unban them if it wasn't something horrible that happened. So knight takes e5, d takes e5, bishop takes e5. This is taking forever. What happened here? Okay, d takes e5. We're not focusing. Knight takes e5. D takes e5. I understand this much. Bishop takes c5. Now, knight d6 was played. I understand. And we just get to this position. Knight takes e to e. Okay, so we just clarified. To see what happened here is that white had a winning position strategically with c5, and then this pawn just disappeared from the board. And I have really, literally no idea. You always thought the guy Tushar and the Serbian guy was the same guy? Oh my god, I don't know. So, selective cheating is a popular sport here on internet chess sites. But, Acerbate, you're so lucky, dude. I mean, the guy has this crushing protected pass pawn on c5. Now, not only does he not have it anymore, but he's down 2 pawns. I mean, how did that just happen? You should be a magician, Acerbate. White just hung his position. He hung his c pawn on c5. And, Bob, let's not, be like that. All right, bishop d2, d4, opening the long diagonal. Acerbate likes to play for mate, which is understandable. But you do have to be a little bit cautious, Acerbate. You don't always have to play for mate. You have a kind of winning position here materially. So I would be, thinking about that. You could play d4. Maybe you're even isolating your own pawn. You're advancing it too far. It might become a weakness. I think you should actually think about, think twice when you play the move here, d4. If this were my position with black, I'd probably just start swapping pieces. I mean, literally, bishop a6. This, to me, is like money in the bank. We don't need to play for mate anymore. You're up 2 pawns. Be practical. Just trade down. But I think the problem is when you're a player who's not, 1800, you don't have that much confidence in your endgame. Acerbate knows mate is mate, and when he checkmates someone, the game is over. But his endgame, his endgame technique maybe doesn't have that much confidence, so he's not used to playing down and trading down for endgames. Yeah, exactly. Can we change the subject? Yes, Nils. So bishop c4, that's the thing. People get obsessed with this. I don't want to really go there constantly. f4, and then rook a3, and a very beautiful finish here by Acerbate. He played for mate and he got it, basically. Queen c2, queen g4. And now, for our next trick, there seems to be a problem here for white, because we have this pawn. There's the pressure on g2, threatening mate. And there's also, bishop c1 looks like a good move to attack the rook, but that would allow this, which would allow rook takes c4, and eventually checkmate on g2. So white is lost. He plays this move, g3, weakening the king side, and then sacks the rook for mate. Very nice finish here from Acerbate. Take, 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 and it's checkmate. Good job, Acerbate, but very, very bad opening, allowing the protected pass pawn. That was a long game analysis. I don't want to make them all that long, but just like tournament play here, I usually take a little while to get warmed up. So the first game is a little bit slower. Hopefully the game analysis will last 10 minutes, 12 minutes per game. We try to go through as many games as we can get to. Juicy gossip. That's why Bob is here, not for chess. Yeah, lately Acerbate's been playing much better. But I think, as I pointed out, when he played d4, my personal, preference is to go for simplification rather than entering into complications or creating more double-edged situations when you're up 2 pawns. I think isn't necessary, But you've got to gain confidence in your endgame. Acerbate is getting stronger. Okay, so I'm not sure everyone's going to get their games analyzed in perfect order. I lost some of the order here. Yabata submitted a game. Now I lost it. I lost that too. Where is Ubatis? This is it. Okay, this would be my contribution to the stream Thursday. Nefedov is next. Okay. Amy is not here today. Wait. Amy is here. Amy's always here with me on my phone. Everybody meet Amy. Amy's the person who used to have this phone, and every day I get wonderful text messages for Amy. Very official ones, though, not personal ones. All right. So, Bob, up to your usual tricks here. Boobies is a trigger word. If you're not a regular on the stream, 98 bits for Amy. Clash Kid is up to 600. Do you think amateurs should only play long games online like 15 plus 15? There's a reason to play Blitz also. Laluo asks a good question. Yes and yes. No. There's absolutely every reason to play longer games, particularly if you don't play. Alex CL became a subscriber. Wait, when did this happen? Did someone gift a subscription to Alex CL, or did you subscribe yourself? Not that it matters. I'm just curious because I missed it. Why did I miss you subscribing, Alex CL, earlier on? Um, you were already subscribed when Bob. Oh, Bob gifted a tier 1 sub to Alex CL. Thank you, Bob. That's awesome. You read my private messages. That's cool, man. I got nothing to hide. No skeletons in this closet. You got a gift subscription. Cool. This thing is an Asus phone. I tried to take my Samsung phone to Verizon, and I swear they have like some kind of scam going on because there's like when I went to Hungary and took my Samsung and I asked them whatever Vodafone to set me up with a line, no problem. Like Hungary, okay. Here in the United States, you take the same phone to Verizon. Oh, they can't. No, they don't know how to do that. They can't do that. They just have to give you a new phone. It's like, come on, dude. Like, really? They've got to be scamming, I mean, I'm sure they know how to, like, set up your phone with a Verizon number, but they just pretend that they can't, so you have to, like, sign up and buy a new phone, which really basically sucks. Perpetual Stalemate says, are you back in USA? I am back in the USA. So anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Camel Culture is a subscriber too. Wait, Bob just gifted a sub to Alex, and Clash Kid gifted a sub to Camel Culture. Not to be confused with Spectacular Camel. We got multiple camels. Verizon is predatory. Yeah, I mean, I think that we've got 62 viewers. That's awesome. How do we get so many viewers today? Dim donated 100 bits. While we're talking about this, I feel like Verizon preyed on me. Like they literally like could have hooked my old phone up with a plan, but they purposely like pretended they couldn't do it, just so that I would have to like basically borrow or rent or buy a new phone, and it was just like whatever, I'll just do it. Anyway, we're focusing on chess obviously here. This is Yabadis' game with the black pieces against a guy called the real Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong. Okay. So I guess Chinese, like Russian, is not easy to write in Latin characters. Okay, Mao Zedong. So c4, c5, knight c3, knight c6. And ironically, Yabadis plays English with white, so he has no clue about this. Dim, thank you. Can you get a new SIM card? That's all I needed is a new SIM card, dude, and they couldn't get my phone to work with it. Okay? This is what Verizon... Anyway, this retailer that works, with Verizon, it wasn't like... It was baloney, but whatever. Yes. I'm just trying to get a SIM card, put in my phone, so I can get service on the Verizon network, and I had to get a new phone to do it, which is whatever. Okay. But anyway, so I got Amy's phone. Well, not Amy's phone, but Amy's number. And now Amy is a meme on my stream. So, knight c3. But anyway, she helps me bring in the big bucks. We need, a woman's touch here on the stream. And Amy is getting it done. So, knight c3, knight c6, knight f3. Can we submit a game? Alex CL, you can still submit a game. I'm going to get to as many subscriber games as I can. We've got new subscribers. I don't know how to keep track of them all. If I miss somebody's game, let me know. You can send me a private message on lichess to submit the game. We're going to have to try to move through the games quickly. Knight f3, and now g6. And I don't know if Yabadis realized this, but this is my preferential move order. I like to play the black side of symmetrical, and I like g6. What we're doing here, but you got to be prepared for two different possibilities if you play this, Yabadis. The first possibility is, like, number one, if you were to play... What am I thinking? Yes, so if you play g6, number one, if we see like d4, you got to play, a form of the accelerated dragon. Basically, cd, knight takes, bishop g7, knight c2. You could also call it a Rubinstein Nimzo with colors reversed. But I like this for black. I like the Gingy Indian approach. Rubinstein, English, not Nimzo. But bishop takes c3, bc, and we're smashing the pawn structure. I like this for black. But some people aren't down with bishop takes c3. I think it's a very good line. Once my friend David Vigorito did that against Ilya Smirin, and the guy was like, Smirin was like begging for a draw after like 15 moves. But anyways, that's one possibility. The other possibility is e3, which this is my main concern. after this e3. That's what I play with white. And now you have a little bit of a problem because I don't think this is a very good Botvinnik English now. You have to do bishop g7 or knight f6, one or the other. If you do bishop g7, you have to be prepared for d4. And now you have a problem. You have to play some kind of hokey variation of essentially a kind of modern defense here with like d6. I do like the bishop takes c3, Bob. I also play the Gingy Indian, but I'm not saying it's not without risk. d6, this line my friend Emil Salanci plays, and it's not that bad for black, but you've got to go pretty nutty here with knight a5, I guess. I suppose you can play this, though. Fischer played this against Korchnoi. Salanci plays knight a5, which is really weird. But you can also play this is Korchnoi, Fischer. Knight e5, knight e2, f5, when the knight can come back to f7. Where Bobby actually had to defend a game against Korchnoi where he was like sacking in exchange. It was actually a really interesting game. Fischer sacked in exchange to basically create a drawing fortress against Korchnoi. Percy Hepworth says bye. Percy, I hope you don't have to leave already. But if you want, we'll still do the game analysis. The infinite flash chess, yes, we're making bishops great again. Yeah. So that's a good meme now. Anyway, we'll see what Yabatis does. He does g6 and white plays g3. Well, after all that, g3 just transposes to like mainline English territory. Bishop g7 here. Bishop g2. Guys, this is a game analysis stream, so I'm not playing Blitz. Nils is leaving. So somebody said bye to Nils. All right, we'll see you later, Nils. We'll try to do the game analysis. I guess Percy was saying bye to Nils. All right. We're on the same page now. So it's hard to catch the context while I'm talking about the game. E6, I told you about this is Petrosian, Aronian, Petrosian. This is Petrosian's formation, according to some books. Whereas E5 is like the Botvinnik. E6, I'm a specialist in pronouncing, Soviet names. Knight on G to E7, D3. Now A6. This move is like, gets brutalized by Stockfish, a question mark mistake. That's kind of harsh. I think a little exaggerated. But I mean, you're black here, and you need to get your pieces developed. You're playing a little bit like you're white. You got all the time in the world. Okay, Alex, you can submit a game from that other chess site, but just don't say it out loud on the stream, okay? You can import a game, any game you want. I don't care if it's from, a game you played, during a moon landing. You can submit the game, just get a PGN, and throw it in the lichess analysis board or whatever, and you can make a study or whatever, a link to the game. So A6, okay, that's a normal idea. But my concern, I guess, is your development is a little bit like late here. You should probably get the king castle first. Yeah, I just try to be funny. Whatever I can think of, Bob. A6, A3. Why not? It's symmetrical. Rook B8. And then B5. So, then we see this move Queen C2, which is pretty lame. It doesn't really do anything for white. Castles, the E3. Not particularly useful either. At this point, I'm thinking D5 for black. That's my preference. You can certainly play more conservatively with D6 if you want to. Well, he's some sort of alien, I guess. It's an emote. So E3, it's like a lizard. One of those reptilian aliens. E3, obviously blocking the bishop here is kind of weird, but Queen C2 is weird too. And I think he became concerned about knights coming to D4 and stuff like that, so he plays E3. Now the only thing for white to do here that's good is probably Rook D1 and trying to play for D4. I would assume. But I think you should just strike first here and hit him with d5. See what the engine says. I've got one line engine. We're trying this new strategy of just running one line. There it is, guys. It's clear. There is a truth in chess, and it's d5, Ubatis. It's d5. This is just, it's purity. When you play b takes c, you're taking toward the center, but you're opening, you're not owning, but you're opening up some play for him along the d file. Although this is like the classic trading toward the center, and it's good. Yeah, I think that this is probably gonna run into troubles because we feel pressure along the d file. Maybe it's not bad for black, but I think the best would have been d5 when I don't really see what white's supposed to do. I don't know what he's supposed to do. He doesn't want to do this, or he's going to get Asterbate's position. Like, check it out. d4, c4. I know that you have bishop f5, but I'm just saying, for the sake of the first game with Asterbate, we see the structure where we have almost the equivalent of like a protected pass pawn on c4. That's very good. So bishop f5. So d5 very, very strong. And so Ubatis plays bc first. And then he plays queen c7, like he's feeling some sort of... I don't know, his opponent was doing some Jedi mind tricks, like forcing him to do the symmetrical thing. You will put your queen on c7 just like me. You know, you will put the queen on c7. Infinite Flash Chess, thanks for being a subscriber. I have emotes. We have the panda. You guys can get a tier 3 subscription and get the Joker and Panda. You can see the emotes here. Sladgie got emote. Soltigo's not with us. He's been feeling badly. I hope he's doing better. Alright. Asterbate can demonstrate. b3. Why is this a bad move? I don't know. Alright, whatever. Kind of a boring game, to be honest. Not to hurt Ubatis' feelings, but it's not your fault, Ubatis. I've also come to conclude that the symmetrical English is, in fact, boring. And I played it myself, so... It's kind of like being an American and criticizing American tourists. If you play the symmetrical English, you can make fun of it and say, you know, basically this opening, it sucks, it's boring. Yeah. Knight a5. It's looking off to the center. Another queen move. Moving the same piece twice. Principles. I like bishop e7. It's always a good idea to trade the guy's fianchetto bishop off. And typically then you can get attacking chances against the white king. But he just set himself up. He just set himself up for white getting tactics on the b file. This isn't very good. Then white makes this weird move, rook takes b4. Why would you want to do that to your own pawn structure? Basically take with the pawn, and you've got a fluid pawn structure with a good game. But instead, your opponent like voluntarily takes with the rook to try to get play. But you're alright, everything's protected. Black has a good pawn structure. Snap, snap, here. And now you've got a good blockader on c5. But Ubatis does not do that. He plays this a different way. Bob is a Yankee. Well, how you doing in your bet for the World Series, Bob? The Red Sox are 2-0. You know, I just keep thinking about that sports writer who said the Dodgers were a favorite. It's like the only way you could say the Dodgers were a favorite in the World Series is if you hate the Red Sox. Like, you can't base it on any other like statistic or any kind of judgment. The only way that any sports writer who said that there was like just complete bias because like you hate the Yankees or you hate the Red Sox. But Bob's gonna win his bet against his father that the Red Sox are gonna win the World Series. C takes d5, knight takes d5. I'm a little concerned about this being a liability here. Rook c1, and this is apparently not good. You found that. The problem is you have the liability here on b7. It's like dead weight. That stupid knight is always going to be hanging on b7, and that's the problem. So, lots of active chat today. I can't keep up with it all, guys. Sorry. Knight d6. This is horrible to retreat the knight back to b1. So white actually was okay. It looks like at this point. Well, I mean, knight b1 is ridiculous. So he's okay at this point, but he has to find a very difficult move, queen b1, to hit the liability knight on b7. I mean, let's calculate how this works, right? Knight takes c3, bishop takes c3, bishop takes c3, and now we have two liabilities. Knight on b7, the fianchettoed knight is always good. And then you compound that with the pinned bishop, leaving yourself with problems, right? Knight e4. Yeah, it's not good having the fianchettoed knight. Someone had to write that the Dodgers would win. Yeah. I mean, maybe he's like the Dodgers in-house sports writer on a Major League Baseball.com or something. I don't know. But it was like, these guys just beat like the best two teams in Major League Baseball, and now they're playing the Dodgers, like the third best team they faced. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? Rook c1. Okay, rook c8, knight b1. This isn't good, and white just folded up their tent here. That wins tactically. Okay. You bought us a little bit lucky. A lot of points that you can improve there. I'm not saying it's over, but make the fianchetto great again. 94. All right. White's fianchetto, not so impressive. That's a good strategy in symmetrical English. Trade it off, you know, and exploit the kingside weaknesses. So Ignas Aram Probat submitted a game by just some sort of, he put the descriptive, the algebraic notation in there. I don't know what we can do with that. We can copy and paste it. All right, Ignas, if we have time, if I get through the other games, we'll try to go over it. But I'm running a little bit behind. So I got Nefedov next, and we'll try to get through all these games 10 minutes apiece. We may get so many subscribers we can't do all the games, guys. To start, you're gonna have to start like fighting over them, you know, and like gonna have to start bit wars to decide like whose game is gonna get submitted to the subscriber stream. 68 viewers, that's great today. We've had a like lower number typically in the viewer subscriber streams. What sport you guys? Baseball, American sports, baseball. I'm in America. It's a huge moment for baseball. Like you play this super long season just to like, you know, have this final championship, the World Series. You play like over 100 games like in a very long season just to have it decided by like 7 random games. That's basically what's happening now. Yeah. But we got Nefedov next. Where is that? Where is Nefedov? Nefedov, don't look at my messages. Don't look at my messages. Where's Nefedov? He's back there a ways. Alright. Where is Nefedov? Oh no. I think we missed him. This is not it, right? No, this is not it, man. We gotta find Nefedov's game. There it is. Alright. We found it. Guys reading my personal emails. Lots of dirty secrets in there. Alekhine's defense, Samish attack. I've never heard it referred. I didn't know it was Samish attack. Is that a unicorn? You know, it's a joke. It's a joke. Yes, it's not a unicorn. Is it a unicorn? Yes. That is a sparkle horse. No, it's My Little Pony. And that's the joke. My stream, you know, my stream, not my stream, but my handle on lichess is called Sparkle Horse. And I chose this for the musician who tragically killed himself. A great indie artist. And at the time I was listening to a lot of his stuff. So, but it's really, you know, not a defining thing. It's just the name of my handle on lichess. But a lot of people make this reference to My Little Pony and bronies because my name is Sparkle Horse. So I decided we started to go with it, you know, and just make it like this brony theme, just for fun, you know. Anyway, I do like My Little Pony. I'm extremely into it. All right, my favorite is PewDiePie. No, that's a whatever. That's a YouTuber. All right, Pinkie Pie. In the game I sent you against an IM, I just couldn't find the right move for the decisive blow. You know what's funny about the pony? For the first stream with this layout, I had the pony sitting on the b8 square. That's true. There was that. So I got the wrong game. My God, I closed the wrong. Oh, guys are killing me. What am I doing? All right. Nefedov. Game to analyze. Mrs. Blunder Queen. Oh my God, who is this Mrs. Blunder Queen? By the way, that won my tournament. We have a viewer tournament every Tuesday. Soltigo made it. He made everything. He made everything. Absolutely. JCS is telling the truth. I'm sorry that we're missing Soltigo, because he helped a lot with my stream. But this is Nefedov playing white against Miss Blunder Queen, who I know nothing about. It's apparently a German account, but played like God in the tournament on Tuesday. I barely drew a very unpleasant rook end game against Blunder Queen, and they took first place. Spectacular Camel says Dropkick Murphy. Where did that come from? Am I an IRL friend to Sladgie? I don't know. I've never actually met Soltigo. He actually, ironically, lives in a neighboring state, kind of neighboring state, but just by coincidence. He's not that far geographically, maybe a few hundred miles from me. But that's just, again, pure coincidence. We've never actually met IRL. Okay, so Nefedov is white. I've also played the Alyakin's defense, e4, knight f6, e5 against Nefedov. But what's weird about this, okay? I'm just going to say it, I'm just going to put it out there so you guys know. Nefedov is doing something funny here. He's playing a variation that he probably prepared for me or something. Because normally he plays the 4 pawns attack against the Alyakin's defense. Now, why the heck against Miss Blunder Queen, he's suddenly playing knight c3? That's weird, isn't it? I'm telling you, there's something weird about that Nefedov guy. He specifically prepared this for me, and it was like waiting like a landmine for me to walk into it. But Miss Blunder Queen walked into it by accident. That's what happened here. This is the funny thing about it. Knight takes c3, and that move, I hate that move. I hate taking on c3. So I've played c6 a lot here. Now, if I remember correctly, my teammate, Zoltan Varga, because I'm not living in the United States all the time. I spent a great part of the last 14 years living in Budapest, and one of my teammates, Zoli Varga, who's a grandmaster who was formerly 2600, 1600. I have the feeling that Zoli probably has played knight to b6 here, but let's just take a look, because this is a favorite move of his. We're not going to be able to see too many games, probably. But this move is kind of weird. I mean, you're basically begging white to play a4, and they do that in a lot of games. There it is. So Cal Shang versus Varga Zoli, 2 of my old opponents. Yeah, that's a weird decision. That's an alternative, but I like c6. This would be something I'd probably try. But the recommended variation is to take on c3. But it doesn't appeal to me. Strengthen the center. Either way, it seems like white has a small edge, and it's not really fun to play knight takes c3 and release the tension. So I know what Vladimir Bagirov would do. We could probably look it up. I've got the complete Alyakin, but that's not by Bagirov. Who is that by? Oh my God, Graham Burgess. Not even a high-rated player, but he did author some good books. So knight takes c3. I don't like this move, but it's the book move. B takes c, d6, destroying the center. And now Nefedov played f4. I know nothing about this position, because I literally don't play that stupid knight takes c3, because it always seemed like it takes the fun out of the game for black. Against my old friend Elon Schwartz, who is a November Niner in the World Series of Poker, Elon and I had a lot of blitz games in this variation. He used to play this against me in blitz online, and he's a FIDE master. He doesn't play chess a lot, but he's a good blitz player. And he used to play, I guess, when I did this back in the day, Elon used to like to play the line with d takes c, I think, if I remember correctly. But I brought this up. Why did I bring this up? For some reason. Don't remember why. No, I forgot what I was thinking, but something about this position. Knight takes c3, b takes c, d6, f4. No, this is theory, I guess. Like recommended line for black. f4, g6. But black plays d takes e5 here. I would think g5 would even be possible. That's been played in one game. That's just too crazy. g5. Monka. Who's Monka? The Brooklyn defense. So Zoli Varga claims that the Brooklyn defense was being played 100 years ago. He basically claims that, and there's probably games to back this up, Percy Hepworth. There's probably, claims to back it up that the so-called Brooklyn defense was actually like the original way that Alyakin's defense was played. So in fact, it shouldn't be called like the Brooklyn defense. According to Vargazoli, it's like the original Alyakin's defense. And Joel Benjamin was like playing it, basically 70 years later or something. But so he takes here, f takes e5. I mean, this opens up the f file. So is there any real benefit in doing this? Does black benefit from playing d takes e, f takes e in some way? Because if not, then probably it's better not to do that. g6. Arsenal fan, yeah, he was very emotional and upset the last time he was here. He seemed like he was distressed. But I think it was something underlying, he was just like taking out his frustrations. It wasn't, really justified. So d takes e5 looks like it's premature. Knight c6. And now Nefedov plays knight f3 and bishop g4, d4. So white has this rock solid center. That's another reason why I don't like playing knight takes c3. You get this position now, black is basically screwed because he can't get any pressure on the white center. There's also the b pawn. I mean, this is another thing. When I played those blitz games with Elon, back in the day, when I tried to play the Alyakin in blitz, I would always regret this whole situation with black having to, like, what are you going to do when white plays rook b1? Play rook b8? I mean, and if you try to play, like c5, so basically this bishop is always tied down to that pawn on b7. I don't like this at all. A very bad position for black. Knight f3, bishop g4. He should have played g6 instead of taking on e5, as the computer recommended. Black plays kind of routinely, and then Nefedov plays bishop b5 is not a move I understand. That bishop is an important piece. It also blocks your own play along the b file, so very bad move. Percy Hepworth is a great guy, apparently. I quit chess if someone plays over the board. f5, yeah, that's a sick move. Wouldn't even enter my mind. The computer was suggesting something ridiculous involving f5. Bishop takes c6. Yeah, I mean, I think that Nefedov is making too big concession here to double the pawns. He's giving up his best bishop. Both bishops are good. Obviously, this bad bishop is also good. A good, active bad bishop. But basically, I mean, it's just not worth it. The knight on c6 is actually not a great piece. So both sides made a lot of mistakes. Takes, castles, and now c5. And finally, Mrs. Blunder Queen, the position starts to make sense. Now, you don't have to worry about that stupid pawn on b7. You don't have to worry about your white squares being weak. You have play against the center. You don't have the stupid knight on c6. So Nefedov helped white a lot here, eliminating the bad piece, giving black a means of attacking the center with like c5. The only question is if black's development has lagged too much because the king is still in the center. I mean, I'm a little concerned about maybe say something like bishop a3. But Nefedov here played bishop e3, just securing his central pawn. But he lost the initiative. White lost his advantage. And I don't blame him for not taking on c5 because that's very ugly. h3. And the computer loves bishops. I was just talking to Ubatis about this today. Stockfish is the ultimate lover of bishops, like Howard Staunton or something. h3, bishop takes f3, giving up the bishop pair, essentially giving up black's advantage. And now white just has a spatial advantage. So Miss Blunder Queen didn't play that well. And, this was probably their worst game, essentially. Now, do I see a rook coming in your future on d7? Nefedov here could play d takes c5, and then queen takes a2, rook d7. That's scary. Like, what do we do if that play is played? Now I'm terrified of rook d7. Seriously, guys, check out the Discord channel. Thank you, Acerbate. Pub Sladgie. Look at this. You lost against a 79-year-old I am. They're only a little bit older than me. Okay, no, Mrs. Blunder Queen, what 79-year-old I am? I probably know them if they're from Austria. I know, like, all the old Austrian IMs. That's the only Austrians I ever played. Yeah, black luckily has queen takes c5 and bishop takes c5 here. '79 is pretty old, though. That can't be any of the guys I know. That's a little too old. Okay. What are we doing here? Alexander Filipenko from Russia. Okay. Don't know him. He's one of those special players that you encounter in the under 2200 section. You know, this like geriatric IM who's still playing like 2300 FIDE. They've dug out of a grave somewhere, and he's still that good. You know, typical. Castles, rook a d1, queen d5. Now he takes the pawn. It's not a pretty structure. We got the Irish pawns. I think we were talking about that. Irish pawns. You're intrigued to go hunting now for two. We'll try the Isle of Islay in in Scotland. It's getting quite popular. Got to get some current events, guys. c4, c6, c4. Yeah, Nefedov wants to break through. fd8. Okay, I'm taking too much time. I'm enjoying this chat too much. Nefedov, as usual, had massive pressure against his opponent. I wonder about c4 here. So c4, could I actually play that? Is that, is that the kind of move that could put away, like, could we put away Magnus Carlsen with this move? Or is it not enough? Not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. This king is coming out. Let's see. We get out here very quickly. Actually, king e7, king e7, king e6, king d5. That's amazing. I thought that white was faster here, but it's not enough. So Chess with Chris says, can I submit a game? It's probably kind of late. I don't think that like we're going to get to any more games because the rate I'm going today, it's pretty slow. We'll get to as many as we can, but I'll put you on the last slot, Chess with Chris. Guys, try to send in the games, before the stream if you can. Can remember it on Thursdays. Deep breath. Okay, I had a nice walk today, like 2.5 miles. In the cold, it was a lot of fun. C takes d5, rook d1, rook d8, king f2, centralizing the king. How much longer is this game? King f8, c6. How does Nefedov mess this up? He just allows, yeah. Nefedov's problem is that he doesn't like to lose. He's a lot like me, and therefore he oftentimes will not risk. He just refuses to risk. He's content with a draw because he refuses to risk too much. Much like myself. Any chance, says Infinite Flash Chess, you could cover the line with queen takes e5. The line with queen takes e5 earlier that I mentioned with that. Anyway, this is a draw now. But what I was talking about earlier, where that queen, d takes c5, I was talking about after queen d5. The idea of taking on c5 here, it's like kind of hope chess. We're hoping for queen takes a2. And then rook d7 looks to me like it's lights out. But maybe there's some sort of defense here. I mean, I just assume this is good. But maybe even here there's some sort of vague hope. Rook takes e7, rook takes e7. I'm having hallucinations, sorry. That's a white pawn on c5. I thought it was a black pawn on c5. White has a very strong game, but the outside A pawn might give some vague hope. Anyway, infinite flash chess, I know, yeah. D takes c5, but I was thinking about that queen takes a2. But this is the defense that saves black. Because you take out the central pawn is like a big part of white's position. That's cramping black. It prevents everything from like f6 to f5, bishop f6, every sort of move that black can play to defend himself against threats along the f-file was basically like made difficult by the pawn on e5. So still white has play with this, but it's like you're picking this pawn up with a very convenient threat of bishop takes e3. Kind of a cute variation. Here the engine says bishop d4, and I don't know if Chess with Chris, Infinite Flash Chess, sorry. Infinite Flash Chess saw this, but apparently like you just leave your queen hanging. And that's kind of cute. But at the end of the day, black's king is safe. He's got these pawns, you know. Very safe, solid pawn formation. Thanks, Chess with Chris. Also a streamer here on Twitch. Mr. Coffee, welcome. All right, guys, we're really, really slow today. I'm streaming till 7, right? Is that right? 4:30, 7? Yeah, it's been fun. I've got more beer. Camel Culture, Mr. Coffee, Infinite Flash, Clash Kid. Shout outs to everyone. Dim, thank you for subscribing and for donating bits to the stream. Clash Kid, Merle Dixon, and Dim all today supported the stream with bit donations. We've got new subscribers, gifts, gift subs, everything going on today. Let me get my beer going on because I'm getting thirsty because I've been talking nonstop. But I didn't do any other videos like today, so my voice is all right. Sometimes when I record videos, I start to lose my voice, but that hasn't been an issue. And I love talking, especially after a beer or two. I normally don't drink too much here on the stream. Don't forget to give 50% of donations to Amy. Amy, you guys, Clash Kid, I made reference to Bank of America. You know, Bank of America has this new advertising campaign for Erica, you know. And I made a reference in the stream earlier to Erica. You know, maybe Amy is the person who used to have my phone number. But maybe Amy is part of another bank. Any banks that rhyme with Amy, like America, rhymes with Erica. Ponda should be the profile picture. It's a good idea, but Ponda's not here. We have replacement scrub Pondas. There was this year in Major League Baseball when they had a strike, and when I was like a kid or teenager, and then they had scrub players. Basically, these are scrub. Hello, don't call me that, okay? No. These are scrub Pondas. They're just replacement Pondas to fill in for the regular Ponda. Hello. But they're a little half blind because they can't see where the webcam is. We got funny animals, you know, ponies. Thank you, Clash Kid, for another donation. Dim with 270. Dim took the lead and immediately Clash Kid just landed another blow for 100. Merle Dixon spoke too soon. Merle Dixon trailing at 501, but thank you. Mr. Coffee says, hi, I'm Bill. This is my brother Ponda, and this is my other brother Ponda. Great reference. Of course, I canned, this is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. Wait, I always get this wrong. I'm Larry, this is my brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. The Bob Newhart Show. Is Bob Newhart still alive? Does anybody know? We should ask Bob. Bob knows everything, like random trivia and stuff. Beer is good for the kidneys. Yeah, I saw this scary story about a guy who was taking, like, green tea supplements. He was in, like, perfect health, and he was taking green tea supplements. He basically destroyed his liver. You know, scary stuff. Be careful what kind of, like, supplements you take. He, like, you know, walked 6 miles a day, like, didn't drink any alcohol, and he, like, it's really sick, and he just took this, like, green tea supplement to try to be healthy, and it, like, destroyed his body. Anyway. Alright, guys, let's go on to the next game. So Nefedov saved his Alekhine's defense preparation for a different player. Percy Hepworth was next. Alright. This is the URL to Percy's game. He's white against Chess Potzer. Okay, so Chess Potzer UK. We got 2. I hope this is the same game. We're assuming it's the same game. So Percy Hepworth is white against Chess Potzer Twitch, 2100. Great story for the party. He's still alive at 89. Oh, Newhart's still alive at 89. That's good. That's good. He was funny. Dry humor. You know, kind of like me. A little drier than me. Yeah, the green tea supplement, not good for you. In concentrated form. You know, it's okay to drink green tea, but these like pills were like really, really concentrated. Not a funny story. Just this wasn't recently I saw about this. G3, and now Percy Hepworth is white, playing the white side of the English here. Closed English. Yeah, I mean, when you face F5, there's not a lot you can do, really. You know, you can transpose to... I like knight H3. That's a funny move. It's probably not a bad move. If you like playing knight H3 or knight H6, the Dutch is a good place to start. You could try something funky if you did knight H3. You could, you know, this is kind of a weird idea, but maybe you could even try like D4. Something kind of weird like that. But seriously, G3 is a good move. Magnus Carlsen against Svidler, with Magnus playing black in a Dutch here. I guess D4, you know, I guess D4 is not really right because you take and you do the Scandinavian thing. There's also bishop b4 check trading pieces, which move 11 hits us with a 245-bit donation. Move 11, everybody's here. This is our greatest like subscriber stream of all time. 67 viewers. Typically, we don't get a lot of viewers. Another 120.5 bits for Amy. Wait a second. Clash Kid's up to 700. But how did you donate? How did you donate half a bit? Clash Kid 100. Where did you get that 120.5? What am I missing? But Move 11 donated 245 to get on the board. I agree, Astrobate. Supplements can be good for you, but you got to know what you're taking and what it does. So E4. Yeah, I don't like E4, but I understand playing it. I like playing against E4, to be honest. I like the kind of structure you get here. But objectively, black should probably take and gain, you know, this tempo if you like. There was a funny game I had on lichess like months and months ago where black played knight f6 and I played like queen e3 check because I thought my queen was attacked. It was ridiculous. Like, I don't know who that was against. But I had like a disadvantage because I just like played queen e3 check without any real provocation. It's kind of funny. Like, I'm expecting knight c6, and I didn't get it. You know, it was just weird. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with knight f6 probably. Ironically, look at the numbers. How much people just like to attack queens for the sake of attacking them, but hammer raid. Uh-oh, not again. Are you kidding me? We don't have a hammer raid, do we? Half of 245. Yeah, the hammer raid came down the other day, and like we were flooded. I just start telling Magnus Carlsen's stories. I didn't know what to do. What do I do to entertain the hammer crowd? You know, hammer time. But that's a funny thing, though. Nothing wrong with knight f6 here as well, I guess. You know. Anyways, so black instead plays e4. I like this for white, honestly. I really do. But it's kind of a standard position. Svidler versus Carlsen. Tony M. It's just me. It's only me. Tony Miles playing the white pieces against Gavrikov. I like white a lot here. This is Mihai Shuba. Dynamic chess strategy. Strongly recommended, although Grandmaster Shuba needs to organize his books a little bit better. Great material, they're just random, you know, like stuff is just put in all sorts of random order. He's like a chess grandmaster of chaos. In terms of his books, he also has a book on the hedgehog, Shuba, which is like the most disorderly book I've ever seen. Absolutely great material, but it's just like doesn't have any kind of like system to it. It's just like he just dropped all the pages in random order and picked them up again and put them together in a book or something. So e4, knight h3. There you go. There you go, Percy Epworth. Good job. Your girlfriend calls cat poop Shuba. That's funny. Actually, the Hungarians say, Shuba. It's tricky about Shuba if it's a Hungarian name or not. It may in fact be a kind of Hungarian name, but very rare. He's actually from Romania, but the lines are very blurred. Knight c3, good move here. Bishop g2. Now here's an interesting point where you might want to think about not playing bishop g2. I don't think that... Oh, Percy is in the stream. Okay. It wasn't yesterday, Merle? Was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Was it yesterday? The hammer invaded? Was it? It was yesterday. No, it was the day before yesterday, Bob, because it was we were doing the viewer tournament, and he didn't play or anything. He just flooded the stream with his viewers. Infinite Flash Chess also commenting on the length of the Hedgehog book. Well, I don't mind, bigger books. It's not hurting me. Like, you don't have to read all the pages. It's nice that they're there, though. I don't mind that, but it's just like he literally took his manuscript, dropped it on the floor, shook it up, and then like put all the pages back together. It's a kind of random order. I think that's how he makes his books. But I don't like bishop g2 here because we might want to play this like a Gurgenidze Caro-Kann. I mean, I like it. It's okay. Kramnik did play it. I'm going to change my mind now. But I would give at least passing thought to not playing bishop g2 because like bishop g5, for example, we could possibly play something where we're not actually putting the bishop on g2, like in a, like I said, Gurgenidze Caro-Kann style. We're going to go here, we're going to go here, we're going to go here, and then we're going to play e3. And this is a stratagem that I've actually used a lot, where we go bishop to e2, where the bishop looks both ways, and play this position in this sort of style. And you can actually castle, let's say, manually, with like bishop g2, walking the king over here. Or you can go king d2 later on if you decide that you're going to play Mihai Shuba style with like g4, undermine his center, something crazy like that. The king can even walk up to d2, like in a closed Caro-Kann French type of way. So there's a lot of flexibility about the white king that you don't get in typical positions because of the just closed nature of this. By the way, move 11. You know who plays the setup with black? Your favorite FIDE master. One of your favorite FIDE masters. Alright, so bishop g2. Bishop e7, castle, castle. I remember I had a rapid game against Huang Trang where I did like f3. I ended up either losing to her or drawing, but I didn't like my position. I played basically like this, like f3, thinking, okay, this can't be bad, this can't be bad. The hardest thing for me, though, black took here, but come to think of it, I had another game in Norway in 2006 in a rapid tournament against this guy, Mihilov, or something like that. He was a good blitz player. c6, and what do you do if c6? Do you let him play d5, or do you like play d5 yourself as a kind of, blocker? The nuts flush blocker with d5. Is that what we want to do here, or do we want to let him play d5 and say, hey, you're overextended? It's always so hard to judge these kind of positions. But anyway, black didn't give him a chance. He just took here, which is, I think, kind of what Huang Trang did against me. Take, and now let's see, knight c6. That's a weird move, isn't it? Kind of weird move. All right. This pawn is great. It's like blocking his bishop on c8. So I like white better. And then d5. Wow. Beta blockers. It's the nut flush blocker, man. Yeah. Like the time that I thought that Michael Cherniak was like bluffing me, and I busted myself out of the European Poker Tour in Copenhagen. There were like 30 players left. And I really thought this great player was like seriously just trying to like steal a pot from me. So I basically busted myself out. He had a king high flush, and I didn't. Okay, d5, c5. This is a good move. You know, you could take the pawn here on d5, but I don't see a follow-up. If we play cd, knight takes d5, for example, queen b3, black conveniently has bishop e6, and probably Percy Hepworth calculated this. Yeah. All right, so d5, c5. I like this. And then this is a very close position, though. a5, bishop e3. Yeah, we don't really want to give that bishop up. I mean, you consider something like bishop g5, but what are you going to do? You can't afford to trade it because you can't protect your d4 pawn. And I don't know what to name this pawn. It was 3 to a flush on the board on the flop, you know, and I just didn't believe him. I thought he was just trying to bully the pot away from me, you know, and I don't know why. I just put him on a blocker. I thought he had the nut flush draw with one card, you know, and that's why he was pushing it so hard. And so, you know, he didn't have the nut flush. He had a king high flush. I almost sucked out on him, though. I made like trips on the turn, and then he was like hyperventilating, but he won in the river. a5 here, bishop e3, good move. b6, knight a4. Knight a4. Do we really want to do this? Probably not. So this is a key moment. Why was f3 played? Move 11. Undermine the center, my friend. It's all very fundamental. I like f3, but it's not the only plan. You know. This is called attacking the head of the pawn chain. Nimzovich might have disapproved, but I still think it's a very standard move. Like, the engine thinks this is actually the best. I think once you've castled kingside, it's probably not a bad idea. I told an explanation about a different way for white to play, you know, without castling, without even playing bishop g2. But I think move 11 at f3 is in fact a good move. But if we go forward, like bishop here, I like this, but I don't like knight a4. I guess it's not a bad move, though, actually. Knight a4 is interesting. I probably would have copped out and just taken here out of sheer laziness. I think white has a slight advantage. But instead he plays this. Provocative move. Takes. Wow, okay. That we weren't prepared for. And now he has this pawn that can roll forward. He should do it, right? But he doesn't do it. He plays this. I like this. You gotta like this. And the knight coming to f4, blockading here. Rook e1, queen d2. Black has this square, though, coming in here. Very complicated game, guys. I'm never going to get through all the games, spending this much time on one game. Sorry. Rook e1, bishop a6. I was enjoying this game, though, because this is an opening that I play with white, so it's kind of close to my heart. I like the way that Percy Hepworth played this. I mean, I think he's got an advantage here. This queen c2, probably hitting the f5 pawn, should be played coming up next. Do we like a5? I'm kind of neutral toward f5. You know, I'm down with white in this position. I don't care what black does. I don't know about a5. It seems like a logical move, though, to kind of stop b4. But here, this move I don't like. Now Elvis has left the building with bishop f1. The problem with bishop f1 is that on paper, his bishop is better than our bishop, and yes, that's a good trade. But I think the problem there is that, you know, first of all, it's a good kingside defender. But secondly, and very importantly, when you have the bishop pair, I don't think you should trade it off. I think that's his job, and that's actually technically a bad bishop on a6, because he has a number of pawns on white squares. So even though your bishop looks blocked and his bishop looks active, objectively, I'm not sure. Plus, it's a very good defender of your king side. So, I don't know. I'm not really in love with this move. I would have played queen c2, I think. Here, what's wrong with queen c2? Hitting f5, guarding c5, connecting the rooks, and white has a big advantage. When he played rook e8, he's just leaving that pawn on f5, like a huge weakness. Yeah, bishop f1, takes. And I guess white's still maybe better, but now you've got like the two knights against bishop and knight. Your bishop is kind of an active bad bishop. I could see an endgame if we took all the pieces off the board. You know, if we've got just like bishop on d4 against knight, you could be slightly worse. Yeah, this is bad. You're passive. he basically dropped a pawn with a bluff a4, but luckily you didn't take it, and then he scammed you with that. Time pressure, I assume. Yeah, so it's time pressure, fast time control. The two knights started to outplay the bishop and knight now, it appears. And you sacked a piece. And this is like desperation. You're basically down a piece. And then black's winning. There's the last hope of the back rank. Apparently there's a trick here. That is weird. Very, very funny move. Queen c3. Queen c3, forcing queen takes c3, b takes c3, when suddenly you have a bizarre situation where the doubled pawns actually block this rook from actually being able to stop the pawn. That's insane. Black is literally up a piece and can only draw, according to the engine, because the c pawn is so strong. Hang on to the f1 bishop, yeah. He went on to lose this one. Okay, guys, we're going to try to move on and catch as many games as I can, what's remaining, the next hour. Percy, that was a good opening, but, time pressure got the better of you. The very important point not to trade the bishop pair. Though it looks inactive on g2, it's a good defender, and in the endgame, it's a good asset. Because he has those pawns, c6, d5, f5, a lot of pawns on the white squares. It seemed difficult to access, but I think later on, you can do that. This is an amazing position. I mean, you're literally like almost a piece up, and white's somehow miraculously like saving the game. All right. So next is Merle Dixon, JCS, Clash Kid Bob. I'm trying to get through as many games as I can. All right, we had a comment that poker is dumb. That's deep. All right. In an open center position, the unopposed bishop pair can act as sort of space advantage. Open center position, the unopposed bishop pair can act as a sort of space advantage. Interesting way of putting it. So, Merle is up next. All right, Mr. Merle. Dear Master, could you please commentate this game? Check out this cheap mate. But I think Percy Hepworth, credible game. Not incredible, but credible, and I think you're going the right direction. So Merle says, what, could you please commentate this game? Oh no, now I have to go back and do reading comprehension? Are you serious? The game in the 6th chapter of my study. I always mess up the reading comprehension on the Scholastic Aptitude test. Okay, the 6th one, Bemused Master against Silly Prankster. You gotta sink because Merle, stay out of this. Stay out of the stream, Merle. Stay out of this. Why am I not allowed to sync here? Because I'm not a member of the stream. Member of the... Yeah, how do we do this? Can I clone it or something? Share and export? Clone. Clone the study. Cloning Merle Dix's study. So that I can actually analyze the game without having to sync with Merle. Alright, Bemused Master. We created a clone. But I wasn't a member of the study, that's the problem. So Bemused Master against Silly Prankster. We're guessing by the opening that Silly Prankster is actually Merle Dixon, the zombie. What did move 11 say? Alright, yeah. Move 11 said what? Good game, Percy. Bemused Master. Where was this played? Alright, so I assume that Merle Dixon is Silly Prankster, right? Am I guessing right here? Last time he was like hippie gangsta. I'm assuming, but Merle also plays the Queen's Gambit declined, so Merle, I am right? You are black here. So you play the semi-Slav as well as the Queen's Gambit declined. Quite a useful thing to do. But you're going to the passive variation with Bishop e7. So check this out. Shanklin versus Mamedyarov. I don't think I've ever seen that game. 2017. I have to check that out sometime. But, so modern chess theory says this is just lame for black. You're avoiding the perils of the Botvinnik variation with bishop e7, which should be wrong. It should be good for white, basically. But even this is apparently okay for black. That's amazing. e3, and then knight on bd7. So we transposed to an equivalent of Capablanca's system, except black's not castled. What can white do? Queen c2. Answer your own questions. So queen c2 is what the late great Alyoshin would have done. What do you guys think about like a seance stream with Grandmaster and former world champion Alexander Alyoshin on Halloween? That would be cool. Knight on bd7. We got to get like a medium, a chess medium or something. It'd be really cool to get like a hot chess medium to bring back the spirit of world champion Alyoshin to play a match with Merle Dixon for Halloween. No, queen c2 here. It looks like we played the Rubinstein system without c5 being an option. I think that makes a lot of sense. So queen c2 is, with or without castling queenside, probably a good idea. The ambulance mate. Maybe you can play b6, bishop b7, knight on bd2 type stuff. What's that? I don't know. But queen c2 is best. But rook c1 is just lame because you transpose to just ordinary chess after that. According to Court Joint Chess is My Life, he did a seance stream live on TV and believed it. Yeah, so I wouldn't like to play rook c1. It's boring. Castles. Merle Dixon has drawn enough games against me. h6. So this is transposing to some kind of nonsense that Merle did against me before. But does white have a choice here? You can always do bishop f4. I mean, that is a possibility. I think this is seriously worth considering. Because is knight h5 really a good move? I mean, would the zombie master Merle Dixon actually play this move? Does this contribute something to black's position? I mean, after bishop e5, probably, white has a decent game here. I don't like knight h5. But you could play this, like just simply take in here. It's like an a6 Slav or something. Then bishop g3. So wow, it's a transposition. Oh my god. Lembit Ol. Lembit Ol was like the most intimidating person I ever played. He had some kind of weird aura about him. And when I like played him, he did some kind of hypnotic thing to me where I just couldn't concentrate, and I like dropped an exchange after 15 moves with white. And there was a funny incident. It was like played on the stage. He just kept staring at me really weird, and I felt this strange, that we're talking about, mediums and Halloween and stuff, but Lembit Ol was this very, very strong Estonian grandmaster, and when I played him, like shortly before he died, he had this very weird aura about him, and I'm not into like psychic stuff and like auras and stuff, but I just felt this weird ass energy coming off of him, and I just dropped an exchange and lost I was, like not even like a beginner, and Alexander Ivanov came up to me and said, "What happened?" And I said, "Yes, I just like I can't believe what I did. Did you see what I did?" He was like, "Yes, I saw bishop a5. Everyone in the room saw bishop a5 except for you." This is what he said to me, like after I lost the game. I wanted to like cry. You're looking for someone to say, "Hey man, it's all right." Everybody makes a stupid move sometimes. This is what Ivanov said to me. He's like, "Everyone in the room saw bishop a5 except for you." This is like, wow, that's just harsh, But Lembit Ol, then he like was pushed or jumped off of a building a couple of weeks or maximally like a month after the game that I played with him. I mean, it was really strange, and they said he was just kind of crazy, But you'd have to talk to like Jan Elvest or someone who was really close to him to know the story about what really happened. Like I don't know. There was talk that he was possibly like pushed, but he may have just like literally been nuts and just I felt there was something very strange about him. I just couldn't put my finger on it. He was staring at me weird, and it was like just something really really freaky about his energy. His like I played Walter Brown, who was just extremely nervous, and he was difficult to play against. But it was different. He was like bouncing up and down, and, like shaking his legs and stuff like this. But Ol was like he wasn't nervous or anything. He was very confident and kind of calm, but he was like staring at me in this really weird way that just sort of disturbed me, and just like it just disturbed me and sort of like I couldn't concentrate. Anyway, Merle Dixon back to the game after my Lambert Ol story. Bishop takes e7, queen takes e7, castles, knight takes c3, and this is standard stuff from Merle Dixon now. But apparently it's all been played before. c5, one of the options here though. You could even do b6. Lots of good options. Yeah, there were stories about Lemidol doing other weird stuff. Like he did what I did one time. I did this once when I was stoned. That was my excuse. But Lemidol apparently when he wasn't, under the influence of any kind of drugs or anything, went up to a board and just started like moving the pieces in the middle of a game. One time, that kind of thing, like in your own world, sort of Ivanchuk style. I don't know, but chess players are weird. Merle can play b6 here, c5, and e5, but I mean e5 feels like kind of classical plan. It's funny that all three moves have been played and all three games were draws. Lars Schandorf, who's actually a strong player, in 2010 against Machea. So Machea must have, what did he do, b6? I mean Schandorf played b6. This is very solid too. Well, Clashkin, unfortunately, you do get people who stare at you, But somehow it's worse when it's like Garry Kasparov or some kind of very strong player. Pinter told me like he was playing against Kasparov and Kasparov was staring at him constantly. It was very disturbing. And Jozef was upset by it, but later Jozef got an advantage and and he was so kind of annoyed by Kasparov's behavior that like later when it was a draw but Pinter was a little bit better, he just like wouldn't give Kasparov a draw. Like where he would have given like any other grandmaster, he probably would have agreed to a draw. But he said he was so like put off by Kasparov's behavior that he just basically tortured Kasparov for like 30 moves. He wouldn't give him a draw, and he was just doing it because of Kasparov's staring like behavior from before. Kasparov was like hysterical, acting like a baby, very angry, like Korchnoi or something. What, you don't give me draw now? Very long comment here from Infinite Flash Chess. There was a lunatic who threatened to fight and slice with a knife multiple people. The guy said I was cutting him with my eyes. Yeah, chess players will get into the mental illness category. Definitely. Like the lollipop. Okay, Bob, you're scaring me now. That's scarier than the knife comment. Alright, Queen e2. This is very standard Merle Dixon. It's like equal. Some kind of micro disadvantage. And now White actually overextended his center a little bit. Does he have enough attacking force here? There's no bishop d3, queen e4, etc. etc. So White actually overreached a little bit. Then bishop a6. So now the knight on d5 is awfully good. I would exchange on d4 pretty quickly here. And now Black's just slightly better. Got a queenside majority and the very strong knight on d5, and White has no attack. This is brutal. This is looking like, something from maybe Capablanca versus Lasker. There was a famous game. Black is just clearly better. It's like you're effectively a pawn up on the queen side. White lost very quickly. Bemused master. No apparent threat here. And there's no back rank mate. Man, that's brutal. So he just like loses in a couple moves. He can't save the pawn on a4. Now it's just two connectors. Yeah, that was a basically perfectly executed game by Merle Dixon. Thank you. Next customer. I wish you guys were all that good that I didn't even have to really do anything. Just tell stories during the game. We don't have to really commentate Merle's moves because they were all excellent. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you for the lesson. No, well played by Merle, but he's basically an authority in this opening for black. JCS had Infinite Flash Chess. I think you got Infinite Flash Chess's game up. Where is it? Here, I think I missed it. There it is. So my game submission, interesting game by stream subscriber Infinite Flash Chess, and I was hoping you could provide some insight. Thank you in advance. You've seen Aronian, Aronian, yeah, Aronian would win. But Merle has excuse me, a way of playing those annoying lines like Kramnik. What's supposed to be like inferior for black, it's actually quite good. All right, where did we go? We got the game here. Gonna grab it, guys. We're gonna stream till 7 o'clock. And this is Infinite Flash Chess against Tura Tourist. Let's just flip the board. No, we don't need to flip the board. You're white. All right. Thank you guys for subscribing. This is my way of saying thank you. You know, this is a devoted stream just to the subscribers. Everyone else is allowed and welcome to watch. Allowed, obviously. It's a free internet. Well, at least it used to be. Anyway, no, seriously. Infinite Flash against Tura Tourist. And I've got this, like, fruit fly. I'm like Lasker. No, that was Freud who imagined, like, a fly was buzzing around his head or something. Knight F3, D5, C4. You see, I don't like this Infinite Flash because I don't like D4. I used to play this for white, but one day I realized that this sucks. You know, basically black plays D4. Now, that doesn't mean it's not playable. I saw some recent game where like Rapport was white and he went into, I think you have to go B4. I know, JCS, I was joking. It was my sarcastic humor. I was like up to date. I was upgrading your comment on him being a viewer. I know. So just since the stream, since JCS sent this in, Infinite Flash was gifted a sub, which is awesome. So anyway, like I think the B4 is the only way to play. I don't know what you do, Infinite Flash Chess. G3 is okay. It's like you're basically black, and the other option is E3, which I've seen some people try to get away with this. Like, and I did a video series on the Blumenfeld, but this is not a Blumenfeld because the dude hasn't put his knight on F6 yet. This is a distinctly different position, and I don't know what the theoretical truth is about this B4. This is interesting. My adopted countryman Miklos Galyash has played a couple of games with white. I've even seen some crazy stuff with like pawn takes pawn. Am I crazy here? Pawn takes pawn, C5. I thought I saw this reference somewhere. Maybe not that position. But at some point I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop playing this because I don't like being black with the white pieces. That was basically my feeling. Now Rapport can play. Rapport had a game with Nair, for example. After B4. Everybody used to play F6. Now, I don't understand what's wrong with F6. I don't know where the status of this is theoretically, but the last two big games I've seen both featured people playing Bishop G4 instead of F6. And that's kind of a newer development. I'm not like a cutting-edge theorist, but I do know that's a shift in the theoretical landscape because it used to be that F6 is just good. Yeah, there's a lot of subs. We have a lot of subs here, but this is our subscriber stream, so we probably have 25 in the house. I don't know. But if Nair is playing Bishop G4, and if another good player is playing Bishop G4, then I'm a believer. I think that Bishop G4, it makes sense. I recommend Bishop G4 against a lot of things, and this is probably another one of them where it's good. But there's interesting stuff. Not Knight E5, like an anti-Trumpowski, which I hate. By the way, Knight D4, Knight F6, Bishop G5, Knight E4 is a stupid move. It used to be all the rage, but it's just not a constructive move for black. Same thing here. This is not a constructive move. I don't think it's a good move. I think you need to make a constructive move that improves your position. So probably Queen B3 like Rapport against Nair. And this is crazy and it's weird, you know, but this seems to be like basically the most interesting. And there was someone else who played this recently. Maybe it's here. Okay, so Spidler's got a couple games. For some reason, the Nair game, which is actually the biggest game where this has been played, has been omitted. It was Rockport versus Nair. I don't know where they played. Maybe somebody can remember. But I'm pretty sure it was exactly the same line. But anyway, that's probably the critical. But black doesn't do d4. All this is for nothing. It's not what happened in the game. But I want to make a point, you know, that you have to be well prepared for. So c6, great. Speaking of Rockport, you know, like I beat him in like 21 moves. And this is the line where I beat him. It was a neo, favorite line of mine actually, the neo Slav or neo, whatever you want to call it, you know, anti-Marin. E3, knight f6, knight c3. And Richie also played e6 here. Same position, I played b3. And now Rockport played bishop d6 against me. This was 10 years ago when Richie was making his final GM norm. And he didn't lose a game in this tournament except to me. This was the only game he lost in his final GM norm. Bishop d6. And I was surprised by bishop d6 because it was kind of a new move at the time. The idea being that black doesn't waste time with knight on bd7. He's going to play for e5 quickly without even inserting that move, knight on bd7. There's also the idea of queen e7 with sometimes bishop a3 and just supporting e5. So Rockport took me by surprise. Again, it was like 2000 later. I'm lying about the year. It was 2008 or 2009. It wasn't 2006. It was probably 2009. Not that long ago. Like Rockport was still in diapers in 2006, but let's say it was 2009. This is not a new idea now, though. This is like old. Bishop d6. But bishop e7 is passive, you know. And I've seen a lot of interesting games. Jesse Cry used to play this way with white. I've seen Hikaru play with white. There's g4 type of ideas. I'm surprised that no one tried that here. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to bust the g4 like in a blitz game in this position. It's probably completely sound. You know, you see like the g4 and the anti-Marin. The idea would be obviously not to castle kingside, but to play like a maniac on the kingside. But probably, you know, you want to wait for bishop b2 or something. But it makes sense to play it right away in a sense. You see, like, if you put your bishop on d6, knight takes g4, and you might even have, like, rook g1, knight takes h2, or something. But the bishop e7 sets him up for this type of thing. Maybe, like, rook g1. And we have rook takes g7. So, this is kind of cool. Unclear. It looks like black can actually play e5, and then it's, I don't know, some sort of weird chaos. I have no idea. But if you want to play something fun, the Jesse Cry chess novel, I have to confess I haven't read it. Okay. But anyways, so we have bishop e7, queen c2, castles, bishop b2. I've played this a lot, you know. It's a good line for white. But eventually, I had a game against Yuri Shulman, but he like put his bishop on the correct square, and we eventually had to play d4. There's a Ukrainian grandmaster who's quite strong. I guess he's Ukrainian. Vyacheslav Eingorn. He was a 2600 in his prime. Eingorn, I don't know if he like lives in Germany or what his deal is, but I think he even has a lichess account. He like found a way to play, in one moment, like e4 actually, pretty early, which I thought was kind of weird. Another strong player who plays the setup for white, which I recommend if you want to learn, is the Cuban grandmaster Nogueras. Anyways, bishop b2, h6, an absolutely horrible move, wasting a tempo, and then d4. You don't have to do d4 though. I mean, you can play like a waiting move, bishop here. I think g4 might even... This is kind of weird, but it might even be playable as a pawn sacrifice. I remember Hikaru doing something like this in a US championship. He just like sacked the pawn along the g file for some sort of crazy attacking chances. So basically now, infinite flash is just transposing to a good semi-Slav for white. Infinite flash says rook g1 and g4. See, the problem is that you're telegraphing your intention when you play rook g1. You're like, it's like an Emery Tate, you know, blitz game. Knight on bd7, bishop d3, pawn takes pawn. You can take back either way. As always, taking with the pawn is more dynamic and also riskier. Nagiris performance 88 World Cup, so that guy was in his prime back in 88. B takes C. What is your Reti source? I don't know. I just collect these things over my life. But my Reti source is like, it's I wouldn't know if I'd call it the Reti. I mean, this is like an anti-Slav. But I guess it's kind of like part of this Reti repertoire. Just a collection of ideas over my career. Wow. So there's just tactics here. You're obviously looking at maybe knight d5 or knight d4. So he asked for it. He could have played Budapest Gambit style with this. That's kind of funky. And actually, it's probably okay for black if he can take with the knight on e5. Turns out he might actually be okay. Some really crazy variation with the computer. But as most people, you know, he's not going to find this in a faster game, 10-0. Naturally, knight d5. So queen e6, knight c7, you have to play queen d6, only move. Now, the thing is, what do we have here at the end of the day? I don't know. That's the point you get to and you're just like, the computer says knight f4. I mean, there's no way that I'm playing knight f4. I don't even understand, you know, what it does. Knight f4 so I can play rook d1 and just, that's hard to find that, you know. Out of date misleading book by Alexander Delchev. Grandmasters love to do out of date misleading books. But he's a good player, Delchev. Like, knight takes e7 check. What else are you going to do if you don't really have a clear plan? Queen takes e7, now what? What I'm looking for here would be, you know, the pawn majority, you know, and the two bishops raking the king side. But how do we really implement this? E4, E4, F4, E5, F5, we just run him over. That would be, you know, probably the rook coming to E1 and then trying to avalanche with the central pawns. I mean, we make it sound really easy, but there are holes in the position and some squares for black pieces, and it's not that simple. Let's see what you did here. So queen c3. That's pretty subtle. Subtlety go. Where does subtlety go? Bishop e6, a4. Yeah, I'm not crazy about a4. I think that you're focusing on the wrong side of the board right here. I mean, a4, okay, you know, you can play on the queen side. You got that inhibiting his queen side majority type of stuff. a4 is kind of like looking like almost like a cheapo, like bishop a3, but he has c5, so it doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think you're losing the thread a little bit there. This is a pretty good move. Then rook fd1. Yeah, so you're not really using your, you know, your mojo here with e4 and f4. c5, that's a reasonable move. I mean, he definitely wants his pawn on the dark square. So you just went for some space with a5 here. It's pretty okay. Then this move, obviously the knight is not moving. Here, just trading pieces. We've got a little bit of an advantage that's not really going anywhere. Almost like a Bogo Indian. I mean, a lot like a Bogo Indian, you know, with the bishops on b2 and the long diagonal. But swapping pieces ultimately, you know, probably gets him microscopically closer to a draw. Although, you know, on paper trading the rook doesn't seem that bad. I think you're running out of ammo here. You have an advantage, but it's very, very small. Magnus Carlsen would win this position against the majority of people somehow, but objectively, the Karyakins of the world would hold a draw a good portion of the time with black. Bishop f3. and then f6. This is a very strong plan. You know, he nullifies your bishop on b2. He's playing strategically well. He fights against the bishop pair. He basically puts his pawns on the correct color, considering his remaining bishop. Kind of like it. You kind of like the way that black's played. And then bishop d5, which is okay. You'd like him to take, I guess, and give him, give you a passed pawn, which is what happened. But he also has pawns. He has 2 connected pawns, in fact. So this is pretty crazy. In a way, it was tempting to play bishop d5, but also very risky. f3, here. Can you play f4, e5? This guy really played pretty well for a guy who was like 1900. I would be freaking out right about now, ready to like report him for being a computer because I was angry that I was losing. You get that like, oh man, I can't believe how well this guy's playing. He's 1900. He's got to be an engine or something. I guess he hasn't played perfectly, but he has played really freaking well for a guy who's 200 points lower than you. The pawn duo, extremely dangerous on the queen side. And that's, even f5 is a distinct possibility now. He could undermine your center here and drop the pawn on d5. He played b5. What if he plays this? It's sort of ironic because it looks like you're opening up the long diagonal for the bishop, but he can't do that. So what's he gonna do? Queen f2, threatening bishop takes d4, then here, and he's able to blow up your center. So that's like, in a sense, the safest way for black to play. Instead, he plays like ultra dynamically with b5, and it looks like he went too far, ironically. Good game. But ultimately your pawns became stronger than his pawns, man. That's the way it's supposed to be done, in a practical game. Win it somehow, and you're winning because your bishop's strong, but you were lucky because he had a lot of resources. Your pawns became too powerful. You could have pushed this one up. That's also strong. This is apparently a mistake. You want to keep the pawns together. I don't know what the time situation was. Looks like, I don't know if this time is correct, but it looks like you had very little. Probably. A few of the people are urging you not to move like a turtle, yeah. But I can't see the time for some reason. I need to move this over and spread it out and make it bigger. Why can't I see the time? So you literally, is it you who literally had no time here? Yeah, that's tragic. Now you're like probably losing. Wow. He put his pawns on the wrong squares there. Oh my god. Never put your pawns on the wrong color, right? So you've panicked here. You're honestly winning because you can create two separated passed pawns. But in time pressure, you make this blunder. And actually, the engine said this is winning for black. It does seem hard to believe that black can hold onto the pawn, but I guess I trust the engine on this. Apparently this is winning, not that move. So this table base says black is winning here. That's pretty disturbing. Wow, just one pawn left, and a rook pawn at that. And black is winning. So the threat of knight f6, knight h5 is just fast enough. If your king was one square closer to the center, it would be a draw. But you literally cannot get there fast enough. You need like king here, and then knight here, and then king here. You need one more tempo to get to the king side. You played well, but it was just a time thing. It's 10-0. If it was increment, you would have won. That's why I prefer increment. Anyway, good game, man. Well, you did win. You did win, right? Like g3, knight e3, king here, knight f1, g4. So you won on time, actually. So, but, you would have won on position if you had had more time. So, alright, let's go back. What do we got, guys? 30 minutes left. A little under 30 minutes left. So, Clash Kid is up next, and then Bob, and then Nils. We're going to get to as many games as I can. Clash Kid, what did you do finally? He sent in the Acerbate sent in his game. So this is the OTB simul with the Austrian IM. Clash Kid, but this is not the 80-year-old Russian IM, is it? Is he an Austrian IM? Alright, so now I have to like go back and do reading comprehension again. I feel so stupid. Acerbate. I was black, okay. So let's flip the board. We need some more equal representation from the chat after Acerbate's emote storm. You guys are awesome. Thanks for supporting the stream. Clash Kid, Dim, Merle Dixon. Thanks for the subscriptions, guys, and keeping the stream flowing here. We've got 75 viewers. It's like a record for our subscriber stream. Really good analysis, though. Take care, Alex CL. Thanks for joining the stream. I don't know if I'm going to get to Ignis and Chris. We've got time for Clash Kid Bob. Clash Kid Bob and maybe Nils, but that's like the maximum. So we get to what we can get to. E4, D5. So you've played this a couple times against me, Clash Kid. Though I have to be honest with you. I'm done with knight takes D5. I mean, knight F6 in serious chess. As I said at the European Poker Tour, I met Konstantin Maslak a couple years ago, who's a grandmaster from like Ukraine or Russia. I don't remember which one. But he's one of the only people who plays the knight F6 Scandinavian at the grandmaster level. And when I saw him playing poker, I was like, great, I can ask him what he thinks about this stupid knight F6 Scandinavian. And he was like, yeah, the same thing that I thought. He was like, you can't play it anymore. You know, people, it's no longer a good surprise weapon to play knight F6. This used to be a good surprise weapon, but in today's chess, it's just too well known now. And knight F6 just isn't very good for black. So I'd kind of drop this from my repertoire. I don't even want to play it in like simuls and stuff. But anyway, luckily here, Clash Kid, you should stick with queen takes d5. I mean, there's nothing wrong with queen takes d5. Knight f6. So luckily he doesn't take up the gauntlet, but he plays knight c3, transposing to, and now Lyukin's defense. Knight takes d5, and now bishop c4. You see this all the time. Yeah, here we have again one of those cases where you can play knight takes c3, but it's like insipid for black. It just seems to give white, you know, well, the Scotch theme here with queen f3, right? I never really was drawn to playing this. It just seems lifeless and not fun for black. So Smerdon wrote a heavyweight book on it recently. I mean, Smerdon is another player, one of the only others other than Maslak who plays the knight f6 Scandinavian, or did a little bit. I mean, I can't imagine what he could have possibly put in a book that would have made it good enough to recommend. I mean, I played it a lot, and I just can't imagine keeping it afloat theoretically. You'd really have to fudge a lot of lines and really, you know, kind of pray to a higher being to make the knight f6 Scandinavian work on a serious level. You know, beyond like rapid chess. And that's coming from someone who played it a lot. So, but maybe I'm maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But anyway, so queen f3, yeah, that's a line. So let's see what Clash Kid did. He did knight b6. This is the mainline recommendation. I've played a funny line here quite a bit, Clash Kid. Funny, haha, like queen f3, bishop e6. Just for kicks and giggles. I would play this sometimes with black, because basically people are prepared for almost everything. There was one line that was a little bit weird, like white can play for the knight to d4. So you have to be careful about that. I played knight c7. This line is actually probably not too bad. Like bishop takes e6, knight takes e6. You're gonna play g6, bishop g7. This is not something I would lose too much sleep over. But that's just a weird variation. You know, your move is the main continuation here, but let's see what happens. So bishop e3, and now you played, you played a totally unknown move. I've never seen anyone go here, never really considered it. I mean, the recommended move is one of two things, either c5 or knight c6. And I don't really feel comfortable playing either, to be honest with you. The problem with c5 is queen h5. And this, again, is the same problem that happens in every line here, basically. You're forced to play some kind of weird move. But maybe this is okay, right? c4. Yeah, actually, this is probably okay. c4 for black. All right. What about queen f3? That doesn't work, right? So white has to play d3. Okay. So this is hokey. You have c4 here. This is fine for black. So white has to play d3. I get it. All right. So Juan Milata Trevino. I think we went to play bingo together once. I know everyone, you know. I mean, Mellado Trevino. We went to nightclubs and picked up girls and played bingo together. But queen f3 is bishop f5. I mean, that's my problem. Getting this bishop outside the pawn chain. Can we attempt to get it outside the pawn chain? Because if I have to play like knight c6, queen f3, or queen h5 or whatever in e6, I don't feel comfortable here with my bishop. I feel uncomfortable with this bishop. I just want to get it out there now. This bishop makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'm not comfortable with this. Is Bob still here? So, yeah. Yeah, the standard line is like knight c6. Anyway, I'm sorry, I get carried away, guys. We're talking about Clash Kids game. But I'm trying to say, I don't know. You know, the other line is knight b6 here, and then knight c6. This is the other question. And now queen f3, and then you got this stupid mate, so you have to play e6. And then it's like, how do you make black's position work? Knight a5, I've played this. But I'm still not happy, guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm just kidding, Bob. I'm still not happy. Are you comfortable with the c8 bishop, Bob, in this position? I'm not comfortable, you know, with this. I don't feel good about this piece. You know, he's not part of the game. Maybe this is the best hope for black, but you've got to be careful. Taking here sometimes is sort of overrated. But it's like, what else are you going to do? Anyway, so Clash Kid plays knight d7, d4, and then you're like, okay, well, that's not going to c5. So knight f6. Original interpretation, Clash Kid. Should white play something along the lines of like, well, actually knight f3 is good, because obviously we can fall for bishop g4. Not recommended. Can we get a flash tactic, please, from Infinite Flash Chess? Will and Bob sound like an old married couple. Bishop g4, bishop takes f7, kids. Don't fall for that. So e6, man, that's gross. This is bad news. You're playing like Yuri Kozubov. We're playing like Yuri. So bishop f5 becomes our only option. In other words, in this position, to not have an entombed bishop. You know, nothing like the bishop. I want to fianchetto it on b7. Oh, but my knight's on b6. Oh, we'll play e6. Kozubov against Anna Muzishuk. And the offspring of Lalich Jr. This isn't good. We had to play e6. You're playing like a grandmaster on a bad day, Clash Kid. Yeah, and then we get to that position where there's nothing to do. Everyone saw e6 except for you. I mean, there is no way to equalize. This is just unpleasant for black. That's all there is to it. So TN here, improving on Muzishuk, the younger, with a4. And this is why I don't recommend playing. This is one of 12 reasons why I should make a video series. 12 reasons why I don't recommend playing the knight f6 Scandinavian. Part 1. The knight c3 variation. This is the 12th most dangerous thing that white can do. But nevertheless, black still cannot equalize against this line. Basically, yeah, it's like, alright, no, you messed it up a little bit. Knight a2. That I want a video of this move. I mean, wow, that's insane. Okay, can somebody like take a picture of this position? I want to like show this position to like 10 strong players and see if they can guess White's next move. Like seriously, I bet like if we gave this position to 10 titled players and said you have 5 guesses to guess White's next move, they would never find Knight a2. You could literally ask anybody, you know. They'd have to be really perceptive to come up with like the most counterintuitive move that can be played. But I like it. You know, it's great. You know, Knight b1, that's very routine. You know, Knight b1 is like totally routine. We're going to avoid trading pieces, bring the knight back to the center, and then play c4. But Knight a2, it's like kind of messed up. I want to put the knight on a weird square where it's just weird, like Rapport style. All right, now Knight b4, offering a draw. Offer a draw. Nefedov here offers a draw. I offer a trade of pieces and draw with inferior development. So you basically hunted his knight down on a2 and then checkmated it while it was weak. Cornered the knight on a2. Knight takes b4, bishop takes b4, c3, and then back. And that all worked. Still we have an unpleasant situation. We've got to play c5, and it looks like a bad knight d7 Caro-Kann at this point. But that's still, we're making progress. White plays a5, you play c5. Clash Kid is a good player, guys. Like, he has a lot of talent, especially in more technical positions. He's underrated. Of course, I expected knight a2, knight b4, knight takes b4. Yeah, I mean, JCS, I think knight b1 is... Nefedov, stop trolling me. I think knight b1 is a standard move, JCS, but knight a2, just that would... You could bet like a titled player. I'll give you 3 or 4 guesses here, you know. What did White play? For $50, you know. Knight a2. They wouldn't get it. You could win the bet like every time. Queen d3, c takes d4 here. Oh, you just ruined your position. Okay. Yeah, we didn't expect this, but White has to do something, right? So, yeah, not good. I mean, this looks like a good Michael Adams Tarash French or something. Got the expanded pawn there, cramping black. Or c3 Sicilian, bishop c2, creating mating threats with like bishop g5. No, White said, no, I want to destroy my structure and have a long-term weakness. Pawn takes pawn. Great. Bishop d7, knight e5, and you're playing like, you know, at this point we're turning into Wilhelm Steinitz with black now. We have like no weaknesses. We've traded off a pair of pieces. This is starting to look like presentable. Bishop c6, it's not optimal. It's not optimal, but we'll take it. You know, it's definitely like, if you go the full Steinitz here with like bishop e8, you're probably pushing the envelope of sanity. So you have to play bishop c6. Maybe you should consider taking it, actually. He did. Okay. Oh, I mean, yeah, I know that theoretically, like, he's not supposed to trade pieces, but you don't really want White to play, like, bishop d5. Black even, you know? So, Clash Kid basically equalized. Now he, like, you know, he has this interesting structure, but okay, c5. It's not necessary, you know? I mean, there's this weakness for both sides. In fact, he has more weaknesses than you do, probably, at this point. So c5 it's a paradoxical move. On the one hand, you want to trade it off, but on the other hand, you're also trading off his weakness. That's like my game with Josh Whiteskin, the chess master. But c5 here, rook a4, okay. This guy's a titled player, so he's not a slouch. You know, if you put him in a technical position, he's probably going to be pretty good. Queen d6, bishop c2, rook d8. You equalized, and then the guy went berserk with g4. Wow. g4. I'm afraid. Black is fundamentally fine, but g4 is a scary move to face. It's upsetting. When you just, You know, just it's like Jaws or whatever. When you just when you thought it was safe to get out of the water, the guy plays G4. You know, that's upsetting. But Clash Kid reacts well. He plays G6, G5. Okay, the maniacal I am. Knight H5. This is a little disturbing. Did he have an engine present at the game or something? The computer wanted to play his move Rook E4. That's totally demented. White's just totally weakened his king side on like without any real reason. I mean, I realize it's a simul, but still, I couldn't play like this with the white pieces. He's playing like a total maniac with G4. Rook E4. And then C takes 2. This is apparently, well, not surprisingly. I mean, you know, you are helping him a little bit when you don't have to take on D4. So the computer is just like, Knight G7, fianchetto knight, bring back to center. Man, yeah, I couldn't play like this with white. I mean, he's supposed to be an IM or whatever, but it is totally caveman. I agree with you, Infinite Flash. I mean, that's caveman. If I had a few, you know, a few mixed drinks, probably, I would play G4 or some other imbibement. But even after a few beers, I probably still wouldn't play G4. C takes D4 here. Rook takes D4. Poor Clash Kid is going to lose because Wade has like a queenside majority with the 2 bishops or something like that. Ironically, he's a good endgame player. But it looks like he's drifting to a tactical loss here. He just simply blundered. And then ends up in the nightmare endgame. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly the kind of position where, you know, I would expect Clash Kid to have a good handle of what was going on, you know. So I don't know what the deal was. Like, were you in time pressure, Clash here, or because he's a very good endgame player actually, Clash. I think that this is weird, you know. He could have made like Rook C8 or any kind of sane move, and he just kind of, maybe it's nerves. I don't know. This just helps white. Looks like the queenside majority, and now 2 bishops down. We're just winning, almost winning. Here, apparently, we're still okay on Queen C5. Queen C7 like kind of loses the tempo. That's a good move. And then this is just a bad endgame for black. That's all there is to it. 2 pawns, queenside. White should avoid the exchange of bishops. That's a strange move even. According to the engine, it's the best move though. I didn't care about material. I thought we just played this. And we just go with the flow on the queen side. Bishop e3 is kind of materialistic, but it is the best move according to the engine. I guess it's fine, you know. We don't need the bishop pair. The knight is off sides, and the bottom line is white has a rook on the 7th with 2 against 1 on the queen side. It's over. So this was a simul, apparently. Yeah. White played very, very well, though. 4 inaccuracies, 24 cent upon loss, no mistakes, no blunders. Guys, one last game I'm going to get to. I guess Bob. I didn't even get to Nils's game. Is Nils still here? Because if Nils is still here, what am I going to do? We're going to do a very quick analysis of maybe the last 2 games. Clash Kid and Bob. We did Clash Kid. Bob and where's Bob? Sorry, guys. Thanks for all the support today. We've got a huge turnout for the subscriber stream, which is awesome. 75 over the board simul. Clash Kid played well and then melted down on like 1 move, basically. Not well in the opening, okay, but the middle part you played really, really well. Well, the middle part you didn't play well, but there was 2 moves that you played. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding around, man. You played the middle of the game well. You didn't know the opening, and then you just, in 1 move, transposed to a bad end game. Kind of uncharacteristic. So anyway, this is a quick game here. Correspondence Chess Aaron Nimzovich versus Jose. This is a game chosen by Sladgie fan, aka Bob. I guess we'll look at this from Jose's perspective because he won the game. Maybe he can get to my game next week. Chess with Chris, we'll try to do so. I would love to try to do so. We'll try to put it like first. I didn't get to Nils. Also, we'll try to do a quick look at Nils's. Jose Raul playing black. Yeah, I think I know this game. This is where he goes like Queen A5 check, Queen A6. But actually, you know, interesting fact here. This is probably a mistake. I didn't realize no, this is a different game. Okay, because Jose played Queen A5 in a different position. I was thinking of the knight E2. Knight E2, Queen A5 check. I think Capablanca has another game in this where he played Queen A6. I might be wrong. Even Dreyev has played this. No Finns here. Alexei Holmston, Laluo. I played that guy. Queen H3. And this is probably not a great line for black, actually. But this is Capablanca's maneuver, Queen A5, Queen A6. Anyways. Better to play C5 if you play this opening for black. So, Bob, we have a Caro-Kann, different line. Bishop takes, queen takes, E6, knight C3. And now black should probably play C5. But he did Queen B6. This is a bad move. Probably just bad. And now we expected Queen A6, but we know that's bad, right? So Kappa plays C5 now. I don't think Queen B6 is great. Capablanca, what did he know? Better develop quickly here. Knight A4. Interesting game to suggest, Bob. So Kappa gives up that dark square bishop. Looks like we have a lot of weaknesses, but transposing to Catronius versus Einar Gossel, the Norwegian Grandmaster. Bishop E3, Queen C7. Now F4 is a little suspicious because white has the bad bishop, you know. Nimzovich, G6. I was going to play H5, to be honest with you. Not afraid to bust out the H5. Ponda. Ponda's favorite move. Ponda's in Budapest, guys. Just don't forget about the Pondas. Oh, that's his butt. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, he's upside down. Hello. So, our hero, Ponda, he's a favorite. His favorite plan is H5. He's a favorite. His favorite plan is H5, the Ponda. But G4 allowing that, and actually black is just really solid here. He delays the H5. Nimzovich plays this. Castle's kingside. Wow. It looks like George Myers playing black or something here. Very tight, very solid. It's nice. We're going to see some in-game technique. He's allowing that knight to sit on the board. Instructive. Rook E8, very strange move. They're really jockeying for position here. It's objectively equal. Wow. Weird. I'm going backwards. Anyway, want to quickly get to Nils's game. Because he's not Jose Raul Capablanca. He's a real person and a subscriber. But Bob asked me to go over this game. I think, truthfully, you know, they really move back and forth a lot. This is an interesting moment, though. Knight takes F5. So Kappa actually takes back with the G pawn, calculating that this pawn, you know, is not that critical. I mean, kind of a weird situation. If you take the pawn here, Rook H8, Queen F3, and that's really deep. Rook H4, and black is better. That was well calculated by Capablanca. So instead, Queen F3, King G6. Pretty cool. And now black just has the minority attack on the queen side. Probably white was holding, but, you know, he's human. The rook gets in there. Black is better now. Minority attack, safer king, ironically. Queen F2, apparently a mistake. Just kind of pressurizing white unpleasantly. Massaging white with the rook inside the position there. Immovable object. And there's our minority attack. That's not really a minority anymore. But the white king, not safe. Instructive. And it's not going to live too much longer. This was Capablanca playing black. I didn't know this game. Nice job, Kappa. So our last game for today, guys, I got to close down the stream. We're going to quickly take a look at Nils's game. Chris, Chess with Chris, I'd like to get to your game. But we had too many today. And you were like the last first person here. So I'm over time. Where did this go? Actually, Nils's game. Where's Nils? Losing Nils. Nils should be here, but I don't see Nils. Do you guys remember where Nils was? Maybe Nils didn't submit a game? Am I crazy? Maybe Nils just asked about it and he never actually submitted a game. Nils is gone. Then we'll just do Chris's game. I guess Nils didn't actually submit a game. Duh. Luminum. Who is Luminum, by the way? I just skipped over Luminum. He said he was a subscriber. That game was presented to all the pioneers in the camp. What are you talking about? The game in the Caracon with similar mind piece ending. Okay. Well, I don't see Nils's game. Blue-Eyed Albino submitted a game. I totally skipped over him, too. Alright, we'll do Blue-Eyed Albino. Searching for positional chess. Quickly, instead of Nils. Guys, I'm over time, so I've got just 5 minutes. I'm going to quickly go over this. Blue-Eyed Albino. He's searching for Bobby Fischer. But if you're searching for positional chess, Blue-Eyed Albino, why you don't play Bishop B5? I mean, you know, that's more strategy than D4. But anyways, G6 dubious. I'd like to know the engine that analyzed this. Okay, C4 if you like positional chess. Chris got burned. No, Chris is next. I'm not going to take him out now. I said I was going to do the game. We're just going to do this instead of Nils's game. Bishop E2, knight E5. That's a very strange move. Don't understand. I mean, here probably you can take advantage with F4, although it's pretty risky. I like knight C2, by the way. Blue-Eyed Albino. That's what Magnus's dad played against me. F4, knight C6. I mean, can Black try for knight G4 here? Is this even possible? I guess it's nothing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Blue-Eyed Albino. I feel like you're spreading yourself too thin when you play a move like B4. You play B4, C4, E4, F4, G4, H4, A4. It's too much, you know? Probably you just have to make up your mind. Are you playing on the king side or are you playing on the queen side? Can't do everything. This is just too much. Alex CL, come back at the end. We're taking a quick look at a couple games here. Black played a silly move, queen b6. You know, here I think white should play for control. Like develop a piece with rook c1. He played f5. Looks a little loose. This move, again, I don't like it. I mean, you probably should put your rook on c1. You've got to think about this pawn on c4. Got to think about the c-file. Now, you could put your other rook on c1, but I thought we're playing on the king side. So it seems like white is not really focused and decided on whether they're playing on the king side, the queen side. A little bit too much of everything here. Can we submit a game next week if we did not get in the queue? Well, Chess with Chris asked this. I think we're just gonna try to remind me that you didn't get your game in like this week. If you're in next week, and I'll try to find a place. I don't like this move either. Knight d4. Then I'm gonna c2 is badly placed. So this was a 10-0. I think Blue-Eyed Albino, you know, didn't play his best here, playing a little too fast. Although I see there's like knight e3 here. White's a little overextended in my opinion. Like bishop h6 might actually be an idea. It's probably the best move here. Black didn't want to do that. There, he did find it now. And white has space. This is a crazy looking move, but maybe black could try the g file. That's a nice idea. I mean, it's really extreme looking, but it can work. Maybe this isn't so bad. Yep. You got to admire the way that black's playing. And for 1680, he's worth every dollar. Like a Nefedov type of 1680. He's got play on the king side with the G file here. So my feeling about Blue-Eyed Albino is that he's a little bit overextending himself. You know, tendency to overextend yourself. Be a little more conservative with your pawn moves, I would say. Space is good, but you have to be realistic. And this guy just flat out miscalculated with knight takes g4. So in this position, the unbelievable move, queen a8, and black is better according to the engine. That's ridiculous. All right, guys, one last game. Chess with Chris submitted. Got Ignis Orum. Is Ignis a subscriber? Or just a viewer? Because if you're a subscriber, I'm just doing a quick look. Chess with Chris. He's late. I'm going to do a very quick look at this. Just for 5 minutes. You got Chris on both sides of the board. That's disturbing. So, black side of a Slav. A6 Slav. He's Alex, so Alex is subscribed. Can't wait for my game analysis next week. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. I'm just taking a very quick look. The bishop f5's pretty rare. I think I had this game with this line with some people. Bishop g4 is rather standard. Bishop f5 looks a little weird, but I guess it's played. This is a bad square. I think the c file is likely to be a problem. Yeah. Sergei Ehrenberg. I had a game with the white pieces in this line. So bishop f5 is strange. Queen c7 looks wrong. It looks like you're going to get burned on the c file. h3 is slow. White's... That's a weird plan, man. I mean, h4, wow, he goes totally postal. I don't know what you're supposed to do here. Wow, the guy went absolutely nuts. So maybe you can find another resource here with like bishop b4. h5 is really extreme. I guess it wrecks your king side a bit, but you have to live with it. Here, 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 and now there's serious problems with that diagonal. You can't live like that, so you're gonna have to take very drastic measures. What happened here? 2 bishops versus 2 knights. Your king is marooned. King f7. Anybody? I would seriously consider this. I mean, this is too much. You're asking too much. You're not developed. You're opening the position with e5. I would consider playing this move. I mean, I don't see an out-of-hand refutation, but maybe there is one, like queen f3 check. All right, fine. Then play king e7. You know, I mean, maybe it's not so bad, but I don't think you can open up the position when you're facing 2 bishops. This is too dangerous. Dim, thank you for the donation of 50. This is just too open. I mean, the bishop should be better, and your king is still in the center. I know his king is still in the center. I know that it's a fine line. White is also not traditionally developed, but the c-file seems better for white. I feel it's just creepy to play e5 so early. Still, it's a close game. Now, you almost made it work. You've actually kind of outstripped him in development. And that may be more important than the bishop pair. You're threatening f2. Wow. And you found this. Knight takes f2. Apparently a crushing tactic. So it was all about like whose king was safer ultimately. And here you have to play rook takes f2. Not sure I would have seen this like in advance, because you know you've got to see a pretty long line. Queen h2 check, and then the other rook coming over. If you miss queen h2 check, then you don't see this. That was the key. Instead, he played this move, and now it's not clear. You get your piece back, but white has play, and it was kind of messy after that. So apparently, dropped a piece here, and you probably went on to lose. Unless this guy gives you a draw by repetition. Wow. King h2, queen h4 check, queen h3. And now it's just lost. Just lost here. Okay, guys. Thanks again, Dim. I don't know if we've got any more time. I really got to go. I'll try to get to this Ignis Aurum Probot. Wait, I've also missed move 11. You kidding me? I missed move 11. I missed Ignis Aurum. Alright, we'll do move 11 for 5 minutes. I looked at my most recent game with Gabriel Ewing. Let's take a look. Fall 2018, guys. I'm going to stay another 10 minutes here. So, what do we got? Gabriel Ewing. This is a 2200 I know nothing about. Matthew is white here. Okay, e4, e6, French defense, Tarash, knight f6, move 11 knows his stuff, e5, here, main line, c5. Quick analysis, guys. Knight e2, main line, f6. Now, okay. So here you also have knight f4. This is the most common move order. But move 11 plays this. Here, knight f3. We've seen this before. Move 11 has had another game in this line, at least. Castles. Now you see the main line is queen c7, which I faced against somebody recently. Now h3. Now I don't know. I mean, this is kind of weird. You know, it's a non-developing move that appears to weaken white's king side. That's a bit weird. h3. Is this something that you actually prepared? I mean, it looks like black can play e5, you know, the move that he's hoping to play. Lukas Jarmula is a good player from Poland, 2016. So h3, I don't know, move 11. What's up with this? Yeah, Chris, I don't know about that. You know, bishop f5, probably not a great line. You should play bishop g4 there in that opening, and that's a6 Slav is a great system. And that's kind of a passive line for white. I know because I played it myself. Bishop e3 here, knight h5. Is h3 good or not? I don't know. It's just not a standard way to play. And now move 11 plays knight c3, avoiding the classic like rook takes f3 exchange sack. And we don't mind this. I mean, black just spent 6 tempi to put his knight on f4. What's the worst thing that can happen? Like, be traded off? In the meantime, you can develop your pieces. So the question is which bishop you want to give up. I'm strongly tempted to play bishop takes f4 here. But move 11, maybe... He may be right. Oh, there's knight b5. Apparently this is tactically strong. I didn't even see it. I was just thinking about rook c1. But rook c1, also not bad for white. You know, I think white has the development lead. Take back, what's up? What about my game? How do we have so many games? Knight b5, queen e7, takes, and then bishop c2. Bishop d7, knight g5. And suddenly white has attacking chances with like queen g4. But that's walking into the bishop on d7, so I'm not sure. What are we doing here? What do we have? So this wasn't really properly like calculated for move 11. He just kind of launched out with knight g5, but didn't have really a accurate assessment of what's going on after. So it looks like white has to play a different move here. Rook e1. That's always weird to play, though. Not easy to play these positions. It just feels like, okay, what do I do now? You know, it's awkward. It's very awkward. What do you do? Merrill Dixon plays with black these lines. So move 11 lost the thread. He played knight g5. It looks tempting, but after h6, all you can do is go back. Instead, you played a crazy move here. You lost your mind with g3. It was all about some sort of absolute maniac queen h5 move. Wow. Got completely carried away. This is just suicide. And white should lose. Absolute suicide. Don't even tell me that you didn't lose this game. That would be unbelievable. Oh my god. Wow. Wow. And white is okay, according to the engine. This should have never happened. My gosh. So apparently you have a trick here. Rook takes check. And then black has at least a draw or what? With queen g3 at the end of the day. So you're playing for a win. Okay. Here, 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 here. And now you're still playing for a draw. That's the irony of the situation. You avoided the draw to play for a draw. Man, don't even tell me you lost. Please, please don't tell me you lost. Ah, everything falls apart. Well, I mean, it was a little greedy. I think honestly, move 11, I mean, things were not right in that game. You know, that was a seriously greedy decision, I think, to play for a win there. I would have been kind of happy to get out of there. Like, obviously, both sides have made a lot of mistakes. The guy's higher rated than you. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's more to it than that, but I would have taken the draw. Take back is like, what about my game? What about you guys? Who's left? Ignis Arum, take back. Where's take back? Where's your game, dude? You guys already answer me that? Where's take back's game? You didn't submit the game, take back? I mean, it's hard for me to do that. You didn't submit it till now. Let me grab this, but I really have to go. You're like waiting for 2 hours, but did you submit the game before and I missed it or something? Can you let me know? Did I miss your game? Because, like, I can't, you know, be sure. You're literally waiting for 2 hours, but I don't see it in my messages anywhere. Maybe I missed it. Did you send me the game before? Because I'm literally doing this for 3 hours. That's not it. That's the link you sent me. White didn't move, black is victorious. Alright. This is a little bit over the top now. He's submitting it now? I mean, that's a little weird, take back. Like, you're submitting it now? After my stream is over? Like, I think that's a little bit over the top. Alright, we'll try to, like, talk about it for a minute. Yeah. Let's try this. There's no game here. White didn't move. You sent it in the Twitch. Alright, dude. I got no game here. From the link that you submitted. I really have to go, dude. This is a little bit too much for now. I'm pretty tired, and I've been streaming for like 3 hours, so I can't. You know, it's best if you send me. The game like before the stream starts. Page not found. So alright, don't know what to say, dude. But I really. It's a joke for the end of the stream. Alright, I didn't know, dude. I was thinking you're serious. I gotta go. This Ignis Aurum Probat, I'll just take a look for a second, but I really literally have to go. I just feel bad because I didn't do his game. Wait a second. I'm like searching on Google. Wow, I have to put this in a game analysis. Copy. Let's do here. Tools, analysis board. Thanks everybody in advance for watching the stream. Thanks for trolling me. Take back. You really upset me there. I was like, dude, after 3 blank games, oh man. Alright, so bad trolling. Let me see. So what do we got here? Last game. Ignis Aurum. What did you say here? My game against an IM, I played white. Alright, and I'm gonna lose the game. Analysis board, we'll do it again. Here we go. Paste. Man, I'm losing my patience. Losing my humor here. We're playing white. Alright. So knight f6, bishop c4, bishop g4, and now what? Quiet, closed system. Black has knight to d4 here, no? I think that's probably a pretty good move. Can we get an analysis? It was a little funny and a little upsetting. Knight d4 probably equalizes. I had a game like this against Clash Kid once. Probably the best move. This is a bit strange. I don't like bishop g5. That's your good bishop. You don't want to trade it off. Here I would keep your bishop's retreat diagonal alive, come back to e2, play queen e3. This is okay though. You know, I don't know that it's a big deal that he took here. I don't mind that. But I don't want to trade this off. And your queen is actually obstructing your own bishop. So I think that wasn't great. And we have another g4. g4, knight takes g4. Tactic possible. Yeah, g4 is just bad. So, if anything, you should probably consider h4, ironically. The favorite move of the pawn does, guys. Merle Dixon, thank you. You have to switch tabs. I have to switch tabs? Are you kidding me? Oh, no. No! I have to switch tabs. I've been analyzing this without showing the game. Seriously? I'm not doing that. You guys serious? Oh my god. Oh no, I have to switch tabs. I can't believe it. Let me try this one more time. Oh no. Oh no. Let me close this out. Why do I have this other tab anyway? Why do I have another tab? Because I did that. Because I'm stupid. Alright, tools, analysis board. I did that. Sorry guys, I'm like talking about the game you can't see, like ridiculous. So anyway, I'll breeze through this. We're late, but last game. This is the opening. Black missed knight d4 here. Equalizing, probably. And then e6. This is okay. Thank you for warning me. that I was doing the wrong thing. The stream didn't crash. It's crashed. Yeah, Merle Dixon, thanks for the analysis. It's not crashed. I just totally was analyzing on a non-existent board. I don't like G4. I don't like Queen E3. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like Queen E3 and I don't like G4. I think those, and I don't like Bishop G5. But I like H4. I like the idea of H4. You probably could have played that instead of G4. Here, you need to get your king to safety, okay? King safety. There may be no king safety here because black just set up a very nice B5. So, this is a crazy move, Bishop H6. Absolutely hope chess. But interesting. It might almost work. I just kind of doubt it. Yeah, so you need the castle, and for better or for worse, black has very strong play here with B5. Looks like you have a tactic there, though, E5, so I take it back. You need the castle. You need to get your king to a safe position. So this is an unprincipled decision to play Bishop H6 that led to your demise. Takes, King H8, G5, here, and now. Okay, if you won this game or got a winning position, you were lucky, because here you're basically unsoundly sacrificed a piece. You're getting like 1 frame per minute. The stream is in bad shape. Oh, so it's the engine. Okay. I'll take the engine off. Anyway, guys, bad position here, but G7 check. And now you can actually make a knight check. Making a queen check is also good, but it's not a check, but it's cool. Queen here, bishop takes F8. We just don't have enough we don't have enough ammunition. It looks like it's not sound. So you ended up drawing this. But it was very, very lucky, because you really should be lost. Just basically down a piece here. Castle's queenside, H5 draw. Black is winning, he's up. Oh no, he's down the exchange, my bad. That's what happens when I rush. So you're up the exchange now. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm a little rushed with this analysis. I misevaluated this. I thought that white was actually down a piece, but he's up the exchange. I forgot this rook is playing. Anyway, too many games to go over today. That's awesome. It's a good thing. Pawn takes pawn, knight G4. So okay, he has compensation. You're lucky you drew though. This was a really unsound attack with bishop H6. Absolutely. Okay guys, we're out of here. We're going to get on with it tomorrow afternoon. We're not doing the morning stream on Friday. Typically I do Friday mornings, but this Friday it's going to be in the afternoon again. 4:30 EDT, Blitz and Rapid Chess. Or sorry, just Blitz. 5+3 Blitz on Fridays. I'm a little bit flustered. I'm tired. I'm going to be out of here. We're going to just show the pandas one more time. Chess pandas. Sorry guys, we're a little bit late. We'll see you later. Hello. See you later. No, I'm just kidding, guys. I reversed their voices. It was fun, but it was a little bit over the top today. I get burned out after 3 hours. It's martini time. So anyway, I think the engine kind of froze the stream there at the end. But welcome everyone, and we'll see you later. Amy, will see you later from my phone. This is her phone, or it used to be her phone. So if you'd like to support the stream and support Amy, please throw us some bits. Support the stream, subscribe. I did the best I could. A little burned at the end there. But thanks everybody for supporting stream, tuning in. We had a really good session today. I will see you tomorrow, 4:30. We're going to do afternoon stream, 4:30 EDT. Take care, guys. Thanks again, and bye-bye. Bye-bye.